Gulf Coast Office Products is a nationally recognized Savin office equipment dealer based right here in Louisiana. Over 100 employees strong, Gulf Coast has the boots on the ground to support all vertical markets, from education, engineering, legal, and finance. With the latest in office technology, from desktop to production segment units, Gulf Coast and Savin have the perfect fit for you. Call 225-756-2644. That's 756-2644 for Gulf Coast Office Products.
This is SportsCenter.
I'm Christine Lisi with visions of October in their heads. Plenty of moves from contenders on this MLB trade deadline day. The Mets finalizing a deal to acquire center fielder Cedric Mullins from the Orioles. Padres acquired one of baseball's top closers, Mason Miller, and starter J.P. Sears from the A's for a package that includes the third overall prospect in all of baseball, Leodalis DeVries. Blue Jays wanted a starting pitcher and got one, acquired Shane Bieber from Cleveland. He is expected back from Tommy John surgery in a couple of weeks. ESPN MLB analyst Eduardo Perez.
It's a great added bonus. You get a guy that's pitched in big games, added to a star-studded, I could say, starting staff there in Toronto.
Eduardo Perez on Joe and Q. Tigers got relief help, acquired closer Kyle Finnegan from the Nationals, and rehabbing reliever Paul Sewald from the Guardians. Bullpen depth for the Dodgers as they got reliever Brock Stewart from the Twins. Phillies acquired outfielder Harrison Bader from the Twins for two prospects, and the Yankees are finalizing a trade for Pirates closer David Bednar. That deal is pending a medical review.
Your summer drink is here. Twisted Tea is a smooth, refreshing, hard iced tea with 5% alcohol, making it the perfect drink to take any day this summer to the next level. Twisted Tea Brewing Company, Cincinnati, Ohio. Please drink responsibly.
Matt Moscona.
I'm very important.
After further review.
Say it one more time.
After further review with Matt Moscona.
And here we go.
Live from the Mercedes-Benz of Baton Rouge studio.
Let's ride! Go!
And off we go. Welcome aboard. Glad you're with us. It's AFR presented by Decision Critical Concierge Nursing in Baton Rouge. I'm Matt. We are here today at Court to Table on Burbank in Baton Rouge. The NFL preseason gets underway. The Hall of Fame game tonight. The Lions and the Chargers, and we'll be here for it. I promise you, this is going to be your new favorite place to watch football this football season. Come hang out with us for the show. Come grab a beer. Come grab dinner. Hang out. Watch the preseason game, the Hall of Fame game tonight here at Court to Table. All right, the LSU Tigers are back on the practice field today, as were the New Orleans Saints. Jeff Duncan is coming up later this hour. We got Will Blackwell and Sean Salisbury on the show as well today. Let us begin as we do every single day.
It's time to pop the top on another edition of AFR with Bud Light. Drink easy.
All right, LSU was back on the practice field for day 2 of fall camp. This one was a little bit different. Day 1, the media, got to watch the full practice. Day 2, they allotted us 15 minutes. I'm not complaining. I am very grateful for every bit of access they give us. So today we got to watch 15 minutes. I have a full practice report up at louisianasports.net if you prefer to read it and see my notes there. It's up on the homepage at louisianasports.net, always free. Just a little bit, let me give you a little bit of a background of how the day was shaped for what we got to see, and then I'll kind of go through a little play-by-play and the standouts and the notables. So we got 15 minutes. They were indoors. Again, just helmets, so no shoulder pads, no padded pants, so just helmets. The 15 minutes we got to see were all indoors. As Brian Kelly mentioned, meeting with the media on Wednesday, they are going to acclimatize their team. So They'll start indoors and then move outdoors and then progressively move to where more of the workout is outdoors. They started the first day with 12 periods. Then they were going to go to 16 and 18 and 20 as they continue to increase. As Brian Kelly mentioned, their research shows, their data shows, the first 7 days is the highest propensity for soft tissue injuries. So they want to make sure that the team is acclimatized, and so they're taking it slowly as they ramp up. Totally fine with that. The most notable or newsworthy item today is that Aaron Anderson was not there. We did not get word as to why. He was there the entire practice that we saw on Wednesday. So hopefully it's nothing really to be considered at all. We all know what Aaron Anderson can do on a football field, but he was not there at practice during the media viewing portion, so maybe he showed up later, maybe not. Maybe it was an excused absence. I have no more information other than he was not there today for the 15 minutes we got to watch. It was Berrien Brown who replaced him, however, with the ones. So the first team receivers were Chris Hilton, Xavier Thomas, Berrien Brown. Those were the first 3 receivers with Chris Hilton. Now, with Aaron Anderson out. It was interesting because when Brian Kelly was talking about the receiver depth, as he was talking about, he was asked on Wednesday about the ability to take the top off of defense. And he mentioned Hilton and Berrien Brown as receivers that were going to be able to get over the top of a lot of teams. Well, Chris Hilton was there. It was Anderson who was out. And still, with Anderson out, it was Brown who replaced Anderson. So I think all that I'm reading between the lines here, but I'm just assuming with that, what that tells me is, look, you may have 7, 6, 7, 8 receivers who can all play any of the positions, the X, the Y, the Z. It's just a matter of getting the guys on the field that you want at the right time in any event. So that was the most notable thing. I will tell you how the play-by-play went when we got to see the first, second, and third team offense. I'll run through that because I charted every play. We'll get to that in a second. When we walked in, we got to see 3 periods. The first 2 periods were dedicated to special teams. And so we got to watch the field goal PAT, which of note here is, of course, Damian Ramos is back, but you have a new holder. Last year, Peyton Todd was the holder. And Brian Kelly, I mean, remember, there were a couple of viral moments of Brian Kelly getting in Peyton Todd's ear because it was all about the operation, getting in there, getting the snap, the hold, the placement, the whole operation down. And that was a problem at times last year. Well, Jonathan Ferguson, long snapper, Grant Chadwick, the Middle Tennessee transfer punter, is the new holder. Ramos is the place kicker. Ramos did misfire from 28 and 48, but he nailed a 44-yarder. Aaron Burrell, the kick of the day, Burrell hit a hit from 48 that hit the top of the net. And if you've never been at the LSU indoor, the uprights are almost against the back wall. There's not a lot of space from the uprights in the back wall, but they have a net so the ball doesn't just bang off the wall. The 48-yarder that Burrell hit was at the top of the net. I mean, he has a massive leg. And Damian Ramos, I'm not starting anything here. Damian Ramos is your place kicker. But Burrell will likely handle kickoffs again this year. And next year, when Burrell takes over the place kicking duties full time, I mean, he's going to be the guy with massive NFL potential if he just figures out accuracy and all that stuff. It's just consistency. But the physical talent, the ability, the leg talent is there with Aaron Burrell, which was awesome to see. When they went to the offensive period, it was a first, second, third team offense running hurry up, no huddle against air. So it was like a 2-minute offense, no defense on the field. So you would think, obviously, this would just be a pretty fluid sequence. And it was for the first team. There were some issues for the second and third team we'll get to here in a second. More than anything, I think what's important about this, because, again, you're not playing against air. You're not playing against defense. You're playing against air. What is notable to me, anyway, is the play sequence. Who is getting the ball? What types of plays are they running? And this was the first team sequence. Nussmeier threw a screen pass to Bauer Sharp, which yesterday, when they were running the 2-minute offense against the defense, they threw a middle screen to Bauer Sharp. So screen to Bauer Sharp, Zone read carry by Caden Durham. The third play was a 35-yard touchdown pass to Xavier Thomas, where Nussmeier floated one down the left sideline. Thomas ran right under it. Boom, touchdown, beautiful pitch and catch. The next play, as they backed the ball up, Bauer Sharp on a 15-yard reception on an out route. He was on the left side of the formation, ran 15 yards out toward the sideline. Nuss hit him perfectly. Then they ran a quick slant to Berrien Brown, slant on the right side, slant toward the middle of the field for a touchdown. And then they lined up around the 10-yard line. Chris Hilton, who was lined up on the left, motioned to be attached to the line of scrimmage, and then they ran a little bubble screen or a little screen pass to Chris Hilton, who turned it up and got into the end zone. So very fluid for the first-team offense. The same wasn't exactly true for the second team. It was odd because Juwan Johnson took the first rep with the second team. Now, do not read into this at all. It might have just been that Michael Van Buren was tying his shoe. I don't know. But Juwan Johnson went in, took the first rep, handed off to Caleb Jackson, and then Michael Van Buren went right in. And Michael Van Buren's first pass was a 35-yard touchdown to Jelani Watkins, who, of course, is really fast. Destin Hill caught a reception on a quick slant on the next pass. Again, Destin Hill is going to play. I'll continue to repeat it. They continue to feature him. He's going to play. The concern was the next pass where Van Buren overthrew Kyle Parker, who was coming on a crossing route. Again, there's no pass rush, and there's no defensive secondary to cover. You just have to hit your receivers in stride, and Van Buren overthrew Kyle Parker in the middle of the field. That's a problem. And then the final play for the second-teamers was a run by Caleb Jackson on his own read. The third group goes out there. Colin Hurley's at quarterback. First play, they throw a tight end screen to Donovan Green. Again, they're throwing the ball to the tight ends. They're getting the tight ends involved. The tight ends are going to catch a lot of passes. Then Philip Wright caught a pass over the middle. The third play, Hurley looked deep, then checked down to Philip Wright. So back-to-back receptions by Philip Wright, the freshman from Destrehan. Hurley threw wide to Nick Anderson, who was coming on a crossing route. Nick Anderson's 6'4", y'all. He's 6'4", 208. Again, no pass rush, no hands in your face, no secondary guarding these receivers. You got to be able to throw accurate and on time, and both Van Buren and Hurley missed open receivers. Well, of course they were open. There's no defense. And Anderson is 6'4". You can't miss that dude. Teron Francis had a catch on a quick slant, and then the final play for the third team was a zone read to Harlem Berry. So the first offense was fluid. A little bit of problem with some of the misfires with the second and the third group. So we'll see how all that transpires as it continues to move. Again, I'm not making too much out of any of this. They're not in pads yet. In that sequence, there was no defense. It's more you want to make sure that you're just fluid in the operation. A couple of the misfires by the backups was a little concerning. The defense during that time in the practice, was doing a 4-circuit drill where you had 10 defenders in a group, and then there were 4 different defensive units or stations. One was dedicated to blitzing. One was tackling the dummy to the ground on the pad. The third was sort of a pursuit drill where you're taking an angle. And then the fourth was, you hit, wrap up, and drive up. So it was just defense doing individual drills. We just didn't see really anything from the defense that would be notable. So the only real thing of note there, Aaron Anderson absent. A couple of misfires by Damian Ramos, big 48-yard field goal by Aaron Burrell, and then a couple of drops, or I shouldn't say drops, a couple of misfires by the second and third team quarterbacks. But Tigers are back on the practice field on Friday with no media availability. Then they practice again Saturday morning, and we get to watch the full practice. So make sure, if you will, I'll have a podcast, a Locked on LSU podcast on Saturday afternoon. As soon as that practice goes final, we'll let you know what we see. So make sure you're subscribed there, and we'll have plenty to talk about. We're back here on Monday. All right, we're here at Court to Table. Our Thursday shows are presented by Decision Critical Concierge Nursing in Baton Rouge. Thanks for hanging out with us. Show open brought to you by Bud Light. Drink easy with the great taste of Bud Light, the official beer of AFR. Of course, they have Bud Light here at Court to Table. So come on by tonight, get some dinner, maybe watch the Hall of Fame game with us, crack open an ice cold Bud Light. We'd love to hang out with you here at Court to Table on Burbank. Gordon is going to be with us in hour number 3 for a brief time. We'll talk a little bit about it. This is part of his concept with Ozzie Fernandez and several other partners as well. But they did a magnificent job putting this thing together. We're inside in the Funky Pickle Bar, but there's the restaurant next door, the bar area where we're in. There's a big courtyard area with comfortable seating and TVs everywhere. The pickleball tables on the far side, or the pickleball courts, I should say, on the far side. It's a great venue. If you haven't been, let me introduce you to Court to Table tonight. Come on by during AFR. or later this evening for the Hall of Fame game when you knock off of work. All right, it's After Further Review. We're glad you're hanging out with us here. We'll knock out a quick break. When we come back, we'll move from the purple and gold to the black and gold. Our buddy Jeff Duncan had a very interesting comment about today's New Orleans Saints training camp practice. I'll let Jeff Duncan tell you when we come back on AFR.
After Further Review.
Get Gordon and get it done. Gordon McKernan Injury Attorneys. If you've been injured in an accident, it's not your fault. Do what injured people in our state have done for 3 decades. Get Gordon and get it done. Of course, as we mentioned, Gordon has done so much for the community, not only through his NIL ventures. We tell you all the time about the laptop giveaway around graduation, the bicycle giveaway around the holidays, and yes, court to table. You know, one of the things that Gordon has talked about with court to table is he saw this concept in another city and said, you know what, Baton Rouge deserves this. So Gordon, some like-minded business people, investors came together, bought this property, built it out, finished it, and this is a magnificent place that pickleball players, sports lovers, families, people who love to eat good food are really going to enjoy coming here, and I'm excited for you to see it here today if you haven't been yet at Court to Table. You know what to do. Go to getgordon.com, getgordon.com. Get Gordon and get it done.
There it is, the extra mile, on the border of expected and extraordinary for those willing to go further, like vans customized for work or play, with safety and tech to keep you connected, supported by a 5-star sales, service, and finance team, and backed by the 1-star you know. So go the extra mile. It's never crowded, because so few have what it takes to go there. Mercedes-Benz Vans.
Parish Construction and Roofing.
This is Coach Kim Mulkey. Go to parishbuilt.com for all of your roofing needs.
From your hometown, parishbuilt.com.
You gotta believe in a dream. Believe. You gotta believe in a dream. Believe. You gotta believe. My whole team on wild.
Hi, this is Beth Serena. Welcome to my pool. The first time I saw this beautiful pool, it exceeded every expectation that I had. They were able to get everything we wanted in this pool. It is a beautiful pool. We live out here, we eat out here, we watch TV out here. This is like our living room outside. We love this pool and everything about it. When we decided to build our pool, we called a great friend who is one of the best pool builders in the country in North Louisiana, and we said, who would you choose to build a pool in Baton Rouge? And without a hesitation, he told us Russell Pools. He said their history, tradition of great builds, great pools was unmatched. So of course, who did we call? Russell Pools. The advice I would give to anyone looking to build a pool is first call Russell Pools. They'll do an incredible job. It'll be incredibly organized. It'll be time efficient. And you will have your pool in no time.
Breck teamed up to reimagine your parks, and you imagined big. With your help, we went to work, creating 12 beautiful community parks across the parish. A family-sized water park, miles and miles of trails, and parks just for your dogs. There are more places to splash, to explore, to run wild, and even soar. You imagined, we delivered. Gold. Breck, your #1 park system in the nation.
These ice cubes could have been a thankless bed for an all-you-can-eat salad bar. But instead, they cradle and cool.
After Further Review with Matt Moscona, presented by Decision Critical Concierge Nursing. Healthcare for your lifestyle. Learn more at decisioncriticalvr.com.
The New Orleans Saints are back on the practice field as training camp continues. Jeff Duncan, NOLA.com, Times-Picayune, was there. Good enough to join us now. Jeff, great to talk as always, man. How are you?
Doing good, Matt. How you doing, brother?
Man, I'm doing awesome. All right, so I saw your tweet I'll reference it here for those who haven't seen it yet. It's already been seen 152,000 times, so clearly it was notable. You wrote, I've seen a lot of practices in my 26 years covering the Saints, and today was one of the best that I can remember from a strictly competitive standpoint. Plays being made from both sides at all levels from all over the field. Good stuff. Okay, please explain.
Yeah, look, I think, Matt, you've been to a million practices in your career as well, and they tend to all start to blend together. So when one like today stands out, I mean, not only from just the effort and kind of competitive nature, but the playmaking on both sides. I did not do this on purpose, intentionally did not reference the Super Bowl team of 2009 because, as we know in this day and age, the hype train will go crazy. But it did remind me, Matt, of those days with Greg Williams' defense, John Vilma and that group competing at a high level against Drew Brees and Sean Payton. It felt like that. I mean, Brandon Staley was throwing the kitchen sink with his new defensive scheme at Kellen Moore and the offense, and then they were responding, and it was just fun. It was 50 to 60 snaps of team drills, which we haven't seen a lot of, so all that kind of played into it.
So what should we I'm not making any correlation to the 09 or any of those teams. Like, I think this is maybe a 5-win team. I think they're going to be very bad in the win-loss column. What, if anything, should we make of that observation?
Well, maybe expectations are so low, with this team, which is very unusual. I think we all agree this team is, for a while, has had expectations to win the division. Maybe there's somewhere in between, a team that could maybe be a sleeper team for a playoff berth and what we're seeing nationally, which is this is the worst team or one of the three worst teams in the league, trolling with the bottom feeders like the Browns and the Giants. Maybe there's somewhere in between those two extremes. I don't think anybody should read into this. I've covered a million training camp workouts, and what translates to regular season sometimes I think is two totally different things. But maybe there's somewhere in between there. They're not one of the worst teams in the league, and there's some reason for a little optimism.
He's on Twitter at @JeffDuncan_. Give him a follow, NOLA.com, the Times-Picayune. Okay, one of the reasons, Jeff, I would argue that they will be one of the worst teams in the league is they have nary a quarterback with a win as an NFL starter. That's really, really hard to overcome. Any reason for optimism around any of the quarterbacks from what you've seen so far?
Yeah, great point. And I think that overshadows any level of optimism you have just because of the inexperience factor. I think we've seen in this league how difficult it is to play quarterback as a rookie. I mean, the Jaden Daniels of the world are few and far between. More often than not, you have Caleb Williams, the number one pick in the entire draft, really struggled. Bryce Young the year before, really struggling. Bo Nix took half a season before he started to kind of feel comfortable and produce. And even if you go back, Matt, to Jaden Daniels' opener a year ago, I mean, 3 fumbles, I think he threw for 190 yards. They got blown out. It's hard. So I think any expectations on the quarterbacks have to be measured right now. I have not seen anything that tells me, boy, they've got a guy now that's going to be their long-term quarterback. I don't think anybody has seen that. I do think Spencer Rattler has been the most productive and consistent so far, but I haven't seen anything of the three that makes me believe that this team might not be back in the quarterback hunt in a year or so.
Okay. What, maybe from today specifically with this very competitive practice, what or who stood out in a positive light?
Well, Kool-Aid McKinstry, the cornerback from Alabama, the light bulbs come on for him in year 2. He's in better shape. He really didn't get into great shape as a rookie because he was coming off of a postseason operation. You can see the confidence level. I can see why they moved on from Marshawn Lattimore. They feel like he is going to be a true number 1 corner in this league. Those guys are hard to find. He's playing at a very high level. I think Chase Young, I'm the biggest skeptic in the world, Matt, on guys that we keep hearing about the potential and then it never comes to realization. but he just looks much lighter, much more athletic and healthy. You see why he was such a high draft pick and so highly thought of. And, this was Brandon Staley reminded me of this today. He's 26 years old, so he's still young. He was a young player coming into the draft. So maybe they've got a little more juice on defense than I expected, because I got wore down last year watching that defense. They got banged around, pushed around, and really bullied by teams like the Bucks and the Packers, and there's a reason they finished 30th in the league. I thought this could be a really bad defense, and I'm a little more encouraged after this camp.
Jeff Duncan's with us, NOLA.com, Times-Picayune. Get him on Twitter, X, at @JeffDuncan_. Jeff, you mentioned in the quarter century that you've covered the New Orleans Saints. You tell me if my math is off, but that means you would have covered Ditka and Haslett and Payton and Allen and now Kellen Moore. That's 5 head coaches, unless if there's someone else that I've missed. Are there observations you've made about Moore and his staff, albeit just a week of camp, but observations you made about Moore and his staff that, good or bad, that stand out to you relative to the other regimes you've covered?
Yeah, some good things. I like one, he's very sharp. I mean, very intelligent guy that I think is very much in the mode of the modern NFL coach. What I mean by that, Matt, is the Kyle Shanahan, Sean McVay, Matt LaFleur. They're not screamers, yellers. I mean, this guy is as far away personality-wise from Sean Payton as you can get. I mean, I don't think I've ever seen him raise his voice in any setting, much less on the practice field. Everything's positive. There's very, very rarely do you hear him critique his team. And I think he's very strategically gotten the buy-in from the veterans on this team. Now, the ultimate buy-in comes in September when they start playing games, and you can show to this team that what you're telling them works. That's the ultimate buy-in. But early on, he's pushed a lot of the right buttons. The one concern I have, and this is a minor concern, but it is in the back of my mind, these practices are as light as I've ever seen. Maybe the lightest I've ever seen. Now, the rest of the league's doing something similar, but even relatively speaking, just not a lot of physicality right now. And I'm wondering in the back of my mind, is this going to be, kind of not an Air Coryell, old, Chargers type of team? But I'm a little curious about that. Is it going to translate once they start playing ball?
Yeah, it's an interesting juxtaposition, Jeff, where and we've heard that a good bit, right? But you have under this new CBA limited opportunity for full contact and practice. Like, they are taking a lot of that out of camp. But at the same time, you still want to make sure you have that element. So is there a healthy medium?
I think so. John Sumrall at Tulane talked about this exact thing, Matt, yesterday. He's an old school linebacker, played at Kentucky, tough guy. And he wants that in his teams. He wants his teams to be physically tough. But he said, look, I'm also paying sports science guys, right? You got one of the best in the world down there, Jack Marucci in Baton Rouge. I mean, those guys do all kinds of cutting-edge studies and research. They know what they're talking about. You have to trust in them as well. And that's where football is going, listening more to the analytics. And Summerall talked about trying to thread that needle between getting just enough physicality, but to develop the toughness you want, and also the conditioning that it takes to play a 4-quarter football game, especially down here in the South, but yet also, not getting worn down the way, frankly, this Saints team did last year with the injuries.
Jeff, one more for you. Outside of quarterback, is there a position battle for one reason or another that has caught your eye and been maybe more intriguing to you so far?
Yeah, I would say behind Alvin Kamara. Who's the next running back on this team that's going to replace Alvin Kamara? I mean, that's going to happen soon. I mean, Alvin's 30 this year. He's clearly the number one back. But they've got to find somebody that can also be a running mate with him. He's at his best when he had Mark Ingram alongside him, splitting carries. I think less is more with Kamara. And right now, I'd say the 2 veterans that they have in camp, Cam Akers and Clyde Edwards-Helaire, neither one of them has shown me much or stood out in any way. Now, we'll find out more in preseason games when the running game is really established. But right now, I don't know if anybody can tell you who the number 2 back is on this team, and I don't think that's a good thing.
He is Jeff Duncan, NOLA.com, the Times-Picayune. Get him on X at @JeffDuncan_. You can follow him there. Hey, man, we always appreciate the time. Thank you.
Anytime, Matt. Take care, buddy.
All right, you do the same. We're brought to you by our friends at Decision Critical Concierge Nursing in Baton Rouge, title sponsor of our Thursday shows all throughout the year. Good stuff there from Jeff. Kellen Moore did meet with the media after practice. We'll hear from the head coach in a very monotone way because, as Jeff just said, he doesn't really get excited about much. Hey, we're brought to you by First South Farm Credit, firstsouthland.com, firstsouthland.com. If you're thinking of buying land, your first call should be to First South Farm Credit. My goodness, there's a lot of land around where we are. This Court's Table location is on a ton of acreage. But it doesn't matter if you're looking for acreage within the city. Maybe you're looking for that rural 20, 50, 100 acres to build your family's dream home. Maybe with those 200 acres in Texas or Mississippi to build that hunting property. Like, this is the time. You're a hunter. You know that. I don't hunt, but at least I know that. Like, this is when you want to put out your food plots. This is when you want to build the deer stand. You don't want to be doing it during hunting season. Be hammering away and stuff, scaring away the deer. I mean, I'm an idiot, and I know that. So call them now, First South Farm Credit. Your first call should be to First South Farm Credit. FirstSouthland.com, FirstSouthland.com for First South Farm Credit. All right, y'all, it's After Further Review. Really excited to be here tonight. The Pro Football Hall of Fame game is tonight, the first preseason game of the year. Lions, Chargers. We'll be watching it here at Court to Table on Burbank. If you haven't been yet, come hang out here during the show. I'm staying afterwards for the Hall of Fame game as well. Come watch some football, have a nice cold Bud Light, hang out here, have some dinner. The food menu is phenomenal. And by the way, Thursday is ladies' night, half off, glasses of wine for the ladies. So, gentlemen, entice your significant other to come and get half off wine. Like, of course, that'd be phenomenal here at Court's Table. All right, well, now I got a quick break. We'll come back. We will go around the SEC when we continue. Also, we'll give you a little bit of, I know there's not like tremendous competitive interest in the Hall of Fame game, but there is one thing that Jim Harbaugh is going to do, and that's start Trey Lance. Yes, Trey Lance, the former number 3 overall pick, is going to start the Hall of Fame game tonight for the Chargers. Jim Harbaugh will explain why. You'll hear that as we continue on AFR, presented by Decision Critical Concierge Nursing in Baton Rouge.
After further review.
Man, I love telling you about my friend Darren James because, listen, I know this much to be a fact. This is just statistical fact. 74% of people that list their home for sale by owner end up hiring a realtor. Maybe you've been through that experience. Maybe your home is currently listed for sale by owner and you're having trouble getting traction or getting it moved. It's why you need a realtor and you need Darren James. Now, there's a lot of different reasons. Maybe it's you don't know how to properly price your home. Maybe you don't know. Maybe you're just not available to show your home whenever people want to see it. There's many different reasons. The bottom line is Darren James was on that just came out the Wall Street Journal Real Trends list of the top 1% of realtors in America. Darren James, number 17 in America, number 1 in Louisiana on the transaction side. Think about what I just said. Literally no realtor in Louisiana sells more homes annually than Darren James. So if you need to sell your home, you need Darren James. Go to agent225.com, agent225.com.
Think real estate, think Darren James.
These are the luckiest ice cubes in the world. They could have been a thankless bed for an all-you-can-eat salad bar. But instead, they've been called upon to cradle and cool a crisp, refreshing Dos Equis. Looks like the lucky just got luckier. Dos Equis.
When it comes to industrial construction, River Parish Contractors can do it all. Mechanical, structural, custom fabrication, specialized welding, and turnaround services. Strategically located in between Baton Rouge and New Orleans, we have the local team with the experience and commitment to safety to manage the most complex industrial projects. Period. Here's the deal. Partnering with us means your project is delivered on time, on budget, and most important, safely. River Parish Contractors, let's get building.
At Bayou Automotive, we believe in a sales process that puts you first. We want you to experience an easy purchase with clear pricing and great service. Let Bayou Ford and Bayou Chrysler Dodge Jeep Ram be your trusted partners in finding your perfect vehicle. The crew at Bayou Automotive is going to do right by you.
Hi, this is Beth Serena. Welcome to my pool. First time I saw this beautiful pool, it exceeded every expectation that I had. They were able to get everything we wanted in this pool. It is a beautiful pool. We live out here. We eat out here. We watch TV out here. This is like our living room outside. We love this pool and everything about it. When we decided to build our pool, we called a great friend who is one of the best pool builders in the country in North Louisiana, and we said, who would you choose to build a pool in Baton Rouge? And without a hesitation, he told us Russell Pools. He said their history, tradition of great builds, great pools was unmatched. So of course, who did we call? Russell Pools. The advice I would give to anyone looking to build a pool is first call Russell Pools. They'll do an incredible job. It'll be incredibly organized. It'll be time efficient, and you will have your pool in no time.
The Windsor Senior Living Community in Mandeville, Louisiana is a beautiful, vibrant apartment community geared toward seniors. They are nestled right in the heart of Mandeville, where seniors live a more carefree lifestyle in spacious apartments with the peace of mind that comes from having a little extra help. Call the Windsor at 985-624-8040 to schedule a lunch and tour. Come see how the Windsor can be your passport to peace of mind.
Parish Construction and Roofing.
This is Coach Kim Mulkey. Go to parishbuilt.com for all of your roofing needs.
After Further Review with Matt Moscona, presented by Decision Critical Concierge Nursing. Healthcare for your lifestyle. Learn more at decisioncriticalbr.com.
We've really tried to make it reflect a typical training camp in terms of volume, workload, meeting time. For example, if it was the first 10 days were 11-hour days, they're 9-hour days now. Volume of practice, 2.5-hour practice is an hour and 45 minutes. We factored it in to not get too much, not get too little either.
That is Jim Harbaugh. Chargers will play the Lions in the Hall of Fame game tonight, Canton, Ohio, as the NFL preseason will officially begin. I know it's when there's a football game in July, it always kind of feels a little odd, but I love it. I love the preseason. I'm a preseason junkie. I understand not everybody loves preseason football. My point of contention always is if you love the NFL and you love the idea of roster construction, then the preseason matters because by and large you go into a camp knowing who 49 of your 53 roster spots are going to be occupied by. So maybe there's 3 or 4 roster spots that really truly are up for grabs. So, and you could say, well, who cares about those roster spots? But they all matter in the NFL because on an NFL Sunday, whoever is on the active roster, like you are playing. Even the backup quarterback typically is going to be your holder. Like everybody has a role. If you're a backup lineman, you're playing on special teams. Like everybody is going to play on an NFL Sunday. So those last 3-4 spots matter. Maybe it's a rotational secondary player or an offensive lineman. I mean, we just got done talking about like the New Orleans Saints offensive line last year being a mash unit. Imagine like how valuable someone like Will Clapp is if you have – I mean, God forbid, but Eric McCoy last year when he pulled his groin, you had Lucas Patrick who was playing guard who could shift into center. And I mean, it's just you have to have those guys that are capable of playing multiple spots and can be valuable assets to you. So, I mean, Isaac Adams back on this team because a couple of years ago when they had injuries in the secondary, boom, he comes off the bench, goes in, is a serviceable corner. He gets a contract by the Niners. Now he's back in New Orleans. So, like, yes, the last 3-4 spots matter, and all that gets determined by and large, not only in practice, but, yes, reinforced by what you do in the preseason. And this is fascinating tonight for no other reason, really, because the former number 3 overall pick, Trey Lance, we all remember Trey Lance's situation from North Dakota State, who then ends up being the 3rd overall pick of the 49ers. He flames out there. He ends up in Dallas. Well, now Trey Lance is in Los Angeles with the Chargers. And Justin Herbert's not going to play in this ball game. So, as Jim Harbaugh said, Trey Lance is going to start the Hall of Fame game tonight. And here's Harbaugh on why.
I just want to give Trey Lance game experience. I mean, I look at his career, even college, not as much as most guys. And, then he got into the NFL and got nicked up a little bit. So, talent player who's playing very well in practice. Now go out into the game, and that's the piece. That says the most.
You may not love to bet preseason football, and I don't blame you if you don't love to bet preseason football. Unders typically rule in the preseason game, although I did hear on Live at Lunch earlier today, the last 3 Hall of Fame games, the over has hit. But if I was going to look at playing something in this game, not that I'm encouraging you, the Lions are favored by 1.5. With Trey Lance starting this football game, I would probably lean to Chargers first half money line if I were going to play it. I'm not saying you should, but first half money line, like the Chargers with Trey Lance playing the full first half, that probably feels like a pretty, I don't know if I would even say safe, but a good value bet there. So we'll see. All right, we're brought to our Relief Windows and ReliefWindows.com. We'll go around the SEC in just a quick second. Windows, door siding, they do shutters as well at Relief Windows and ReliefWindows.com, where remember, they also have wood windows that come with a lifetime warranty. That sounds like a punchline to some, but if your HOA, and there are many of them, if your homeowners association requires wood windows, you want to call Relief Windows because you're going to install these windows once and you're done when you install these Geldman wood windows from Relief Windows. Custom made, measured, made for your home, custom installed as well, expertly installed, and the custom window and the expert installation is so key to prevent those costly air leaks. And, of course, they're built and manufactured not to rot in the South Louisiana weather. If you want wood windows, you want Relief Windows. Windows, door siding, oh yeah, they do shutters as well. ReliefWindows.com. Okay, Muse, remember to turn on your microphone this time. Muse, hit around the SEC.
Around the SEC, bringing you the biggest news from the nation's best conference, the Florida Gators.
You know, we got the mic. We're good. On Wednesday, we told you DJ Lagway out with a walking boot on his foot. Billy Napier has now addressed his starting quarterback's injury, calling Lagway, quote, day to day. Napier also mentioned that they're about a week removed from the injury, so a lot of quick progress has been made, but it's still something that they will be monitoring. Of course, DJ Lagway coming off of a shoulder injury a season ago that kept him out for games and part of spring, limiting him.
The Mississippi State Bulldogs.
Mississippi State hit the practice field for the first time on Thursday, and, well, they did so without a potential starter on their defensive line. Jeff Lebby confirming that interior defensive lineman Kai McKernan is sidelined from the preseason and likely much longer. He's got a torn knee ligament, although Lebby did stop short of saying that McKernan will be out for the entire season. True freshman a year ago, played all 12 games, started 5 in the last 5 games of the season, as a matter of fact. 30 tackles, a half sack, and 2 TFLs. That's one to monitor for Mississippi State with an already fledgling defense.
The Georgia Bulldogs.
Kirby Smart has updated Georgia offensive lineman Ja Jackson following an arrest. He was arrested back on July the 16th. Kirby on Thursday said that Jackson is being disciplined internally, but is available and still with the team. Of course, he's looking to play a bigger role. He played in all 14, 15 games for Georgia a year ago. The arrest was for more than an ounce possession marijuana. That's a felony. He was also charged with 3 more misdemeanors.
The Missouri Tigers.
And lastly, Mizzou has extended their defensive coordinator, Corey Batoon. It's just a week after they extended Coach Eli Drinkwitz. Batoon is guaranteed to make $1.4 million and $1.5 million through 2027. That's the extension. He also will receive a $100 signing bonus and another $100,000 retention bonus if he's still with Mizzou on February 1st. He was hired from South Alabama to replace Blake Baker. Missouri ranked 17th in the country in total defense and 20th in scoring defense in Batoon's first season. There you have it. That's around the SEC.
Thursday show is presented by Decision Critical Concierge Nursing in Baton Rouge. There's a weird, summer cold going around right now. Erica's got it. Some people at the office have it. If you want to get over that quickly, an IV hydration could be a great way to sort of boost to bring you back to life. Decision Critical will come to you. Their expertly trained nurses will come to your home, your office to administer that IV. So if you're feeling bad and you want to get back to life, call Decision Critical. One of their expertly trained nurses will be at your home, your office, wherever you are. They come to you and they can administer that IV. Just one of the many services they offer at Decision Critical Concierge Nursing in Baton Rouge. Of course, I've mentioned therapeutic phlebotomy as well. A lot of men on hormone therapy, you have to give blood. Like I have to give blood every 6-8 weeks, something like that. They will come to your home office and perform that service as well. So it's not just healthcare. It's healthcare for your lifestyle. Decision Critical Concierge Nursing in Baton Rouge. DecisionCriticalBR.com. DecisionCriticalBR.com. Muse, you forgot the big story out of Alabama on the round the SEC. Did you miss this?
Wait, yeah, I did. What happened?
God, Muse. I mean, I don't know how in the world you could possibly have missed such a massive story. At 2026 5-star edge, Anthony Tank Jones, out of the state of Alabama, picked Oregon over the Crimson Tide today. It's being called the biggest recruiting whiff in Alabama history. He said at one point, did Tank Jones, quote, Alabama was his, quote, dream school since I was younger, although down the stretch, the Ducks and their Nike money jumped in and yanked him right out of the Yellowhammer State, right from Kalen DeBose and you other chumps. Get used to losing key prospects. Kalen DeBose, you know what have never lost him? Nick Saban, but guess what, chumps? Nick Saban ain't your coach no more. You're stuck with this bumbling dude from Washington and South Dakota or wherever he coached. I'm sure it's going to be great, though. All the dudes you got back on defense and Nick Saban recruited, losing half your roster in 1 year. Oh, you got the friggin' OC that he had with him at Fresno and Montana. I'm sure it's going to be awesome this year. All's going to be fine. No worries, Bammers. It's going to be really good. Get ready, bruh. I've been telling y'all since the day Nick retired, 9-3 is coming right up your donkey every single year. That is your new reality. Get used to it, you chumps. That boy, Tank Jones. Take your talents to Eugene, Oregon. Get out of Alabama. You can smell a rat. Smartest thing that young man could possibly do instead of going and playing for what's the old dude? Wimpy. I'm going to start calling him Wimpy. Remember from the old Popeyes cartoon? Wimpy, that's Kalen DeBose. Good for you, Anthony Tank Jones. Get far away from those goons in Tuscaloosa. Love to see it. It's AFR.
AFR.
Brought to you by River City's 1 Hour Air, where they're always on time or you don't pay a dime. 752-0001, 752-0001, or 1hourbr.com. Love sharing 5-star Google reviews. Aaron sent this one, said Kevin, the technician, was outstanding. He was extremely professional, knowledgeable, courteous throughout the entire visit. From the moment he arrived, he knew exactly what the issues were with our system, explained everything clearly. He diagnosed the problem quickly, walked us through the best solutions. It's clear he's experienced and takes pride in his work. We felt confident and well taken care of. Highly recommend Kevin and River City's 1 Hour Air. I mean, I got 20 more seconds. What else do I have to say? Got issues with your AC? Call the best. River City's 1 Hour Air. Look for the big yellow vans and trucks with a giant clock on the side. 752-0001, 752-0001, 752-0001, where they're always on time or you don't pay a dime.
We typically think of stress as being bad for us. At Our Lady of the Lake and LSU, we are researching how certain types of stress, such as exercise, can be good for our immune health. By studying people under extreme stress, such as athletes, astronauts, service members, and first responders, we're learning how to improve the immune health of everyone. That's the power of research. That's the impact of champions. Together, we roar.
At Luba Workers' Comp, our journey began over 30 years ago with a simple belief. Our clients come first.
At Luba, our business has always been focused on people, not policies.
Through every success and challenge, we've continued to grow because we've stayed true to our values, committed to providing you with genuine dependability.
Because your well-being is more than a priority. It's our purpose.
Bayou Chrysler Dodge Jeep Ram is taking $22,500 off MSRP on the brand new 2025 Ram 1500 Laramie with $22,500 off MSRP with a complimentary 7-year powertrain warranty that comes with all new Bayou Automotive vehicles. If you need sales or service, the crew at Bayou Automotive is going to do right by you.
Baton Rouge's home for real rock. It's Eagle 98.1. Foo Fighters. Led Zeppelin. AC/DC.
Pearl Jam. And the flagship home for LSU sports. Take us anywhere with the Eagle 98.1 app. Eagle 98.1 is the rock station.
There it is, the extra mile. On the border of expected and extraordinary. For those willing to go further. Like vans customized for work or play. With safety and tech to keep you connected. Supported by a 5-star sales, service, and finance team. And backed by the 1-star you know. So go the extra mile. It's never crowded because so few have what it takes to go there. Mercedes-Benz Vans.
We're Rev Business, a local provider with nearly 90 years of experience. So when it comes to business in Louisiana, we know that personalized service is key. And we're here to go the extra mile with all fiber solutions that deliver what every business needs, reliability and quality. We're not just providers. We're the local team dedicated to helping you succeed. True partnerships are homegrown. Rev Business, internet, phone, managed services. Visit us at letsrev.biz.
Flight by Yingling is raising the bar by crafting the next generation of light beer. With only 2.6 carbs and 95 calories, this is premium refreshment.
After further review with Matt Moscona, presented by Decision Critical Concierge Nursing. Healthcare for your lifestyle. Learn more at decisioncriticalbr.com.
The College Sports Commission has loosened their prohibition on athletes getting paid from third-party collectives. This just didn't take long at all. I mean, the House settlement went into effect exactly a month ago, July 1st. Here we are on the last day of this month, and the College Sports Commission is effectively saying, you know what, I guess maybe it's okay if collectives continue to pay student athletes. Like, that's cool. And look, let's be honest. I mean, I know we had this whole clearinghouse thing where everything over $600 had to be proven for exact value. Maybe it doesn't have to be exactly that, but we are going to still need some documentation that they are promoting a product and what. Like, get real. Like, what are we doing? I mean, this was one of the most obvious outcomes that anyone and everyone should have been able to foresee. I mean, I don't need to go through a deep explanation, but just as a reminder, like, collectives were effectively funneling. It was pay-for-play guised as NIL. Collectives were funneling cash to athletes as pay-for-play under the guise of NIL, whatever. House settlement comes along. They're like, okay, can't do that anymore. Everything actually has to be NIL, and if it's over $600, you have to have it approved by our third-party clearinghouse. Well, naturally, everyone is going to try to find ways around that, whether it's payments under the table, back to the old brown paper bags, something we've talked a lot about here, which is high school NIL, because the NCAA doesn't have jurisdiction over NIL payments to high school players, and every state has allowed high school NIL. So there have been all these different loopholes, so now the College Sports Commission says, okay, look, we're going to loosen this up. Like, collectives can still pay the players, but it's got to be NIL deals. Like, you got to show you're actually trying to promote a product. But what's gone from this memo is the whole, it's got to be market value. And the problem is like, I'm not a really smart guy, but I understand some things about economics. And like, the best example I can give is one I've given before. It's like a baseball card. I mean, if you find an old piece of cardboard with Honus Wagner's picture on it, there's people that pay millions of dollars for that. It's an old piece of cardboard with a picture on it. What's the market value of a piece of cardboard with a picture on it? Put my picture on a piece of cardboard. Anybody going to pay them $1 million for that? Hell no, they're not. Will they for Honus Wagner? Why? There's rarity and scarcity and all this sort of thing. Yes. So it's the same thing here. Who's to determine what someone's market value is? It's what the market will bear. And if someone's willing to pay a backup quarterback $450K to hold a clipboard, God bless that kid. That's what he's going to get. That's his market value. So it took them about a month to realize that's probably where they needed to be. I still maintain that the really interesting thing that will continue to unfold is how the blended roster budget comes to pass. When I'm the blended number, I'm talking between NIL and revenue share and how all that is structured. That's where people like Austin Thomas are going to prove their worth in the weight of gold. They're worth their weight in gold. Their worth is worth their weight in gold. Their value is worth their weight in gold. You know what I'm trying to say. Because those are the people that are going to have to figure out how to allocate the money that they have through rev share and NIL to make it make sense to where they can build a roster that's capable of competing for a championship. But 1 month, 1 month into the Newhouse settlement, and they're like, yeah, we're going to loosen those restrictions a little bit. Yeah, you don't say. The season hasn't even started yet. We're brought to you by Evermore, EVA MR. Y'all, it's hot out there. It's 100 degrees. Drink your Evermore. I got my big bottle, my 64-ounce bottle right here. I have it with me at all times. When I'm at my desk, whether I'm on air, whether I'm at home, I drink Evermore all day long. It's a better form of hydration. It's natural artesian water. I was at a business today. Someone offered me a bottle of water. They handed it to me, and it said purified drinking water. And you go read it, and you read the label, and it ain't just water in a bottle. There's all these different things added and taken out. Like, it's what are you actually consuming? With Evermore, this is a natural product, straight from the ground into the bottle. EVA MOR. Evermore.com. Buy it online or great local retailers. Evermore.com. EVA MOR. Drink Evermore. Okay, y'all. Thursday shows are brought to you by Decision Critical Concierge Nursing in Baton Rouge. We are at Court to Table. Perfect location for game day season, which is right around the corner. And tonight is the Hall of Fame game. We will be here, so come hang out with us at Court to Table on Burbank. Come get introduced to your new favorite spot to watch football tonight at Court to Table. Hour 2 after Sports Center.
AFR.
Y'all, I love telling you about Lee Michaels. Lee Michaels Fine Jewelry, lmfj.com, lmfj.com. If you are thinking of popping the question, getting down on bended knee, and you're going through the process right now maybe of shopping for that ring, that diamond that is going to thrill her and that she'll look at lovingly for the rest of your lives together, go to Lee Michaels Fine Jewelry. You can start at the website, and you can schedule a consultation with one of their associates. So if you want to have your time set out and arranged, and if you want to go to Lee Michaels and you want to try on 1,000 rings, you can do it. Like, you're never going to be rushed. You're never going to feel pressured. It's how they've been here for 40 years. Do not be nervous. They create a very personal experience, and it does not matter what your budget is. They want her to be thrilled and you to be a hero. There's 9 locations, 2 of them in Baton Rouge, New Orleans, Lafayette, Shreveport, and online at lmfj.com.
There it is, the extra mile, on the border of expected and extraordinary for those willing to go further, like vans customized for work or play, with safety and tech to keep you connected. Supported by a 5-star sales, service, and finance team, and backed by the 1-star you know. So go the extra mile. It's never crowded, because so few have what it takes to go there. Mercedes-Benz Vans.
It's not just a game, it's a religion. You've got your team colors, team swag, and now your very own website. LouisianaSports.net. Everything LSU, Saints, and Pelicans. Sports on demand. In-depth coverage by sports writing pros with continuously updated news. And with the LouisianaSports.net newsletter, you get pinged directly with top trending stories. Best of all, now and always, no paywall. It's free. LouisianaSports.net. Powered by 104.5 ESPN Baton Rouge. Your home for Louisiana sports.
Family owned and community driven.
Service Chevrolet Cadillac, a legacy you can trust since 1972. Service Chevrolet Cadillac, our family serving your family.
For over 50 years.
At Luba Workers' Comp, our journey began over 30 years ago with a simple belief. Our clients come first.
At Luba, our business has always been focused on people, not policies.
Through every success and challenge, we've continued to grow because we've stayed true to our values, committed to providing you with genuine dependability.
Because your well-being is more than a priority. It's our purpose.
Men, age is just a number. Don't let it dictate how you feel. Goodwood Men's Sexual Wellness has anti-aging services that can help you look and feel your best. Visit yourgoodwood.com and discover a renewed sense of vitality.
At Ochsner, we know healing is a team sport. That's why we've partnered with world-renowned orthopedic surgeon Dr. James Andrews to create the Ochsner Andrews Orthopedics and Sports Medicine Institute. Whether you're a professional athlete or a weekend warrior, our team of specialists are dedicated to getting you back in the game. So whatever your reasons are for reaching your personal best, we've only got one: you. Ochsner Andrews Institute. Long live you.
Is SportsCenter.
I'm Christine Lisi. Plenty of deals involving contenders on this MLB trade deadline day. Familiar face back in Houston, courtesy of a blockbuster. Astros reacquiring shortstop Carlos Correa. They also acquired outfielder Jesus Sanchez from Miami. Padres' talented bullpen even better, acquiring closer Mason Miller and starter J.P. Sears from the A's for a package that includes the number 3 prospect in all of baseball, Leodalis DeVries. Blue Jays acquired righty Shane Bieber from Cleveland for a pitching prospect. After he returns from Tommy John surgery next month, Toronto's betting that he returns to form, notes ESPN MLB insider Buster Olney.
He's right. And the other day in his last rehab start, his fastball was clocked as high as 94 miles per hour. Then Bieber could be a guy who could start game 1, game 2, game 3 of a playoff or World Series.
Buster on Clinton and friends. The Mets acquired Orioles center fielder Cedric Mullins. Dodgers acquired Twins reliever Brock Stewart. Phillies acquiring outfielder Harrison Bader from the Twins. Tigers acquired closer Kyle Finnegan from the Nationals and rehabbing reliever Paul Sewald from the Guardians.
Your summer drink is here. Twisted Tea is a smooth, refreshing, hard iced tea with 5% alcohol, making it the perfect drink to take any day this summer to the next level. Twisted Tea Brewing Company, Cincinnati, Ohio. Please drink responsibly.
Matt Moscona.
I'm very important.
After further review.
Say it one more time.
After further review with Matt Moscona.
And here we go.
Live from the Mercedes-Benz of Baton Rouge studio.
That's right.
Hour 2, off we go. Welcome aboard. Glad you're with us. It's AFR, presented by Decision Critical Concierge Nursing in Baton Rouge. I'm Matt Moscona. We are live today from Court to Table on Burbank in Baton Rouge. Awesome spot. This had previously been Oasis in the Shed, if you know where that is, on Burbank. And Gordon McKernan and a group of investors in Baton Rouge came together, bought this property, renovated it. They've opened it as a pickleball concept. And it is awesome. Even if you don't play, and I don't play, but nothing, I just haven't played. Even if you don't play pickleball, no worries. There are 5 indoor courts, 5 outdoor courts, and then there's a beautiful courtyard area covered where they have live music on Fridays and Saturdays, TVs everywhere. And then where we are, there's the restaurant and the Funky Pickle Bar. We're in the Funky Pickle Bar where they have. We're sitting on one of the indoor courts in here where they can have tournaments here. There's tall top bar tables, a giant U-shaped bar where you can sit around. There's comfortable booths. There's shuffleboard. There's cornhole. We came here. I came here with a client in early July, and was blown away. Food was awesome, and came back on the 4th of July with Erica and Drew because this was such a great family place where he doesn't really sit still, but he could get up and walk around. And so Erica and I were able to just sit in one of the booths while Drew just kind of walk up, and he would meander and wander a bit and then make his way back. And it's fantastic. And this will be I promise this will be your new favorite place to watch football. As I look to my left, there's one of these giant screens where it's like 4 screens in one. I think it's probably like 10. That's probably 10 feet long. There's the giant projecting over there. There's probably 20 TVs in here. When you go outside, there's TVs everywhere. The point is, like, for Sunday ticket on NFL, for Saturday, it's going to be an awesome, awesome spot for your football Saturdays, Sundays, or any day here at Court to Table. And by the way, the food's outstanding. I had a piece of salmon for lunch. I've had the fish tacos before. I've had guac and queso. Everything. Bo had a pizza earlier today, a flatbread. Like, everything is awesome. It's a chef-curated menu. They did an outstanding job. So come on by. Join us tonight for the Hall of Fame game. Drink some ice-cold Bud Light, courtesy of our friends over at Mockler Beverage. Got some 104.5 ESPN swag as well, hats and shirts. So hope to see you here for AFR or tonight for the Hall of Fame game at Court to Table here on Burbank. Oh, we went to break, and I was talking a little bit about that, how the College Sports Commission has loosened their prohibition on NIL payments. And it was interesting, the timing, because there's a piece out today as well where it affected, I'm trying to think of the way to say this. They sort of list the power brokers in college sports. This is from CBSSports.com, and the title of it is Meet College Football's Kingmakers, 22 front office executives who are revolutionizing how rosters are built. Well, Austin Thomas is on this list. And there's a lot of people, like some names you would recognize, some you wouldn't, like James Blanchard, who is the general manager at Texas Tech. And, of course, Texas Tech is one of those programs that has come out of virtual oblivion, where they only had a very small sliver of relevance under Mike Leach. And other than that, in their entire history, they've been largely and completely irrelevant. Well, they've been able to use their Texas oil money and utilize it in this era to become a competitive football team, what they hope will be a more competitive team, and the guy in charge of all that is James Blanchard. There's Wes Fritz, who's at Houston. That's Willie Fritz's brother, who's there. Billy Glasscock at Ole Miss, who's doing the same thing as their GM. Former LSU quarterback Brandon Harris is the GM at the University of Texas. Brandon Harris hasn't even turned 30 yet, y'all. I mean, it's pretty incredible to think of what he's been able to do there in just a short amount of time in his young career. But he went from being on the recruiting staff there at Texas to now being their general manager, and he's the one in charge of building out their staff. So you got a lot of dudes like this. And yes, Austin Thomas, Barton Simmons, formerly of 24/7, who was hired by Clark Lee there in Nashville. And Austin Thomas is on that list as well. And this quote in this piece came from one anonymous general manager who said, quote, Austin Thomas is the mastermind, the blueprint, the process. He's just so smart and innovative. And I will tell you, when Les Miles hired Austin Thomas back a decade ago, and then when Ed Ogeron took over for Les Miles in 2016, they created the general manager title because Austin's ambition, I remember talking to him a decade ago, and his ambition was to be an NFL general manager. And I'll be so fascinated to see, and candidly, I've not had this conversation with Austin since, so I don't know if this is the case, but I'll be so interested to see if college athletics, if these general managers of college teams start getting poached by NFL teams. And I don't know if that'll be the case, but in the same way that college football has basically become a training ground for the NFL, it feels kind of like these college front offices, which are being built in the mold and the image of NFL front offices, might end up being the same thing, a training ground. Like, it used to be that college coaches got hired by the NFL because of the general lack of success. You don't really see that as much anymore, but I'm wondering if we might see this more with these front office people being hired. Like, a good example, like Preston Tiffany was on LSU staff. It's a name I know a lot of fans probably don't know, but he was one of those guys who was working as the director of player personnel, and he just got hired by the Philadelphia Eagles to work in their front office. The Philadelphia Eagles are the reigning Super Bowl champion. The Super Bowl champ just came and plucked a guy off of Austin Thomas's staff, which goes to show just the value there in identifying talent and building out your roster and allocating your resources as such. So it was an interesting read just to look at and just to see how all of this may continue to develop and evolve as we move throughout this new and modern era. But the one thing I would say maybe that's at the sort of the tip of the spear here is having Austin Thomas back in this role. And it's a major hat tip to Scott Woodward, because Scott Woodward was Austin Thomas was Scott Woodward's hire. Scott's the one that identified and made the decision to bring Austin back and put him back in the football operations office. And listen, this was a year ago in the fall. Beth Rex, who was Brian Kelly's chief lieutenant, had been for a decade, left, and she wasn't fired. But what was happening was Scott hired Austin Thomas, planted him in the football office, and more of Beth Rex's autonomy and role were being taken away and given to Austin, and so she made the decision to leave. And I understand that, and that's like, I'm not saying it's a good or a bad or right or wrong. It's just the way they decided to move through and divide responsibilities, and she didn't want to do that. That's fine. But as the picture keeps getting painted, it becomes clearer and clearer that this was the right decision, because you look at just in one calendar year where LSU's roster was, where it is now, where the collective was, where it is now. I certainly think losing Kelly Zinn hurts on the revenue generation side, because she was so creative, is so creative, and so impactful there. She's now at Rutgers, so you're going to have to replace that. But yes, I think we can turn back the clock to Scott Woodward's decision to bring Austin Thomas back, to implant him, so to speak, in the football program, and to give him that autonomy, and to work as the general manager, and to hire his staff as he has done effectively. You're already seeing the benefits. Now, we got to see it manifest on the field, right? They got to go win games. But there is no debate. Like, this is an objective truth. The roster is more talented today than it was a year ago. The NIL collective at LSU, Bayou Traditions, is healthier today than it was a year ago. They're in a better position with rev share today than they were a year ago. It's like the coaching staff, the support staff is better today than it was. All those things are better. So hat tip to Austin Thomas, and that, to be included on that CBS Sports piece is certainly appropriate. Now they've got to go make it happen on the field, and that's where the coaching staff comes into play. Just like in the NFL, the front office puts the roster together. The coach has to maximize the talent. That's what you're seeing now. It's no longer just the head coach recruiting and building their board. Like, you have a front office that's managing player personnel, recruiting events, NIL, rev share, all that stuff. Of course, the head coach is going to have a say in all of it, be in the center of it, but you have to have the staff in place. And then once you get all that talent here, the onus is on the coaching staff to now go coach it. And we'll see what this coaching staff can do with this group of talent, which is certainly good enough to win any game on its schedule. I'm not saying they're going to win every game, but they're certainly capable of winning any game on their schedule. Okay, it is after further review. Our Thursday shows are presented by Decision Critical Concierge Nursing in Baton Rouge. Whether maybe you've been handed an unfortunate diagnosis, a cancer diagnosis, maybe you're caring for an elderly parent, maybe you're bringing a newborn baby home from the hospital and you need help. Remember, the expertly trained nurses at Decision Critical are here for you. It's not just health care. It's health care for your lifestyle. They will provide expert in-home care for you and your family. Learn more at decisioncriticalbr.com. Go to the website to schedule that discovery call at decisioncriticalbr.com, decisioncriticalbr.com. Okay, y'all, it's after further review. We're here at Court to Table. We're here for the Hall of Fame game tonight, so y'all come join us. 5 outdoor pickleball courts, 5 indoor courts, 3 full-service bars, tons of fun family activities like big Jenga, Connect 4, cornhole, ping pong, shuffleboard, and pickleball. We're here at Court to Table and looking forward to seeing many, many, many of you here tonight throughout the show, and then, of course, tonight for the Hall of Fame game. All right, we'll knock out a quick break. We'll continue. I want to talk a little bit about what I think is maybe the most important position battle outside of quarterback for the New Orleans Saints. We'll get to that next on AFR.
AFR.
GLO, glowresources.com. They are complete employer solutions at Glow Resources. My buddy Jareth Knockin's done an awesome job, man. They've built an enormous company on the Baton Rouge top 100 private companies in Baton Rouge. And a big way they've been able to do it is how they've expanded. I mean, offices in Miami and Orlando and Houston and Mississippi, and they service companies literally all over the world. But when I talk to Jareth, they're so clear, like home base is still Baton Rouge. Their corporate headquarters are on Perkins Road right next to Pennington. Baton Rouge and New Orleans are still the primary markets they service for businesses right here. So if you're a business owner, if you're an HR manager, a hiring manager, an operations manager, and you're struggling to find the right people for that job in your business, Glow Resources can help. Check them out online at GLO, glowresources.com, glowresources.com, complete employer solutions.
Today, we are shaping tomorrow.
We are researching how extreme stress impacts the immune system, from trauma victims to athletes and even astronauts.
Our work is leading the way in sepsis treatment, saving countless lives.
We're unlocking the mind with music in exciting new ways.
Our Lady of the Lake Health and LSU are improving the health of our state.
That's the impact of champions.
Imagine the impact we'll have on the future. Together, we roar.
At Atmos Energy, our Smart Choice solutions help customers save energy and emissions with rebates up to $500 off high-efficiency natural gas appliances, smart thermostats, and weatherization upgrades. Together, we're fueling our energy future.
Gulf Coast Bank and Trust is giving our customers the power to bank anywhere, anytime during this challenging event. And we're right there with you. Our mobile banking app is a smart way to manage your money and time. Gulf Coast Bank and Trust, the bank that cares about you.
At Bayou Automotive, we believe in a sales process that puts you first. We want you to experience an easy purchase with clear pricing and great service. Let Bayou Ford and Bayou Chrysler Dodge Jeep Ram be your trusted partners in finding your perfect vehicle. The crew at Bayou Automotive is going to do right by you.
Businesses like yours are the soul of our community. You deserve someone who'll deliver the internet services you deserve. That's why local businesses rely on Rev Business, 90 years of building connections. Visit us at letsrev.biz.
At Sunshine, we know what you see when you look at your land. Where others may see dirt, you see the foundation you've built your life on. This, it's hallowed ground. It's past, present, and future. We're proud to provide quality John Deere equipment to help you maintain the land you love. Check out our current promotions and learn more about what it means to be powered by sunshine at sunequip.com.
These are the luckiest ice cubes in the world. They could have been a thankless bed for an all-you-can-eat salad bar. But instead, they've been called upon to cradle and cool a crisp, refreshing Dos Equis. Looks like the lucky just got lucky.
After further review with Matt Moscona, presented by Decision Critical Concierge Nursing. Healthcare for your lifestyle. Learn more at decisioncriticalvr.com.
We had Kai Kroger, punter from South Carolina, and then we let go of Hunter Decker's quarterback. Obviously, just making that move there as we go, and we'll see how everything progresses moving forward. The injury things that we had talked about, Juwan Trayton and John, Juwan was limited in practice. The other two did not participate in practice. Obviously, it'll be a little thing. It'll take a few days for those guys to get back into it, but they'll be fine, nothing long term.
That was Saints head coach Alan Moore. talking about the decision to sign punter Kai Kroger and the corresponding move waiving Hunter Dekkers. Kai Kroger is a name that maybe is familiar, certainly is familiar to me because he's a punter that South Carolina took to SEC Media Days a couple of years ago. And listen, he was awesome at South Carolina, at least early in his career. In 2022, he was a first-team All-American. He had a down year in 23, came back in 24 and had a really good year where he was a second-team All-American. And then both in 22 and 24, he was first-team All-SEC. So he was like a really, really good college punter. I think Brad Wing, like great college punter. And but he went undrafted because who drafts punters unless if you're the Saints and you draft Russell Erxleben 11th overall. But Kroger went undrafted. He signs as a UDFA with the Jets back in May after the draft, like just this past May, a couple months ago. So he starts camp with the Jets, and the Jets cut him waived him on July 27th. So just 4 days ago, they waived him, and now the Saints have signed him, and Alan Moore explained why.
Yeah, we just really liked what Kai presented the other day. He came in for a workout, he did an excellent job, and so we felt like he'd be a great addition to the competition. And these rosters are always moving; they're always little pieces and adjustments. We got enough flexibility within our roster to handle it for the time, and so we'll see how it all progresses.
It's just so interesting because you wouldn't have 3 punters on your roster if you were happy with your punting situation. Like, I do understand that just like with quarterbacks where you have camp arms, you kind of have to have camp legs as well. Like, if you're going to work on the punt team, someone has to punt the freaking football. So you don't want your punter kicking the ball 100 times a day. Like, you can get leg fatigue and you can get injured, and there's a lot that goes into that. So you need sort of a camp leg in the same way that you would need a camp arm. But I also look and go, like, having 3 punters in camp is odd. By the way, play number 2, because this was Alan Moore talking about the decision to have 3 punters in camp.
Yeah, we'll just see how it progresses over the next little bit, and if we have to make any adjustments, we'll be good. But we feel like we got three really talented punters that can all compete, and so it'll be a fun opportunity for all those guys to go for it, and we'll get the reps that we need.
I guess so. I mean, there's the news, and then there's what's really going on. Well, the news is that you're bringing in a third punter. You're waiving a quarterback in Hunter Dekkers to bring in another punter, and you got 3 punters in camp, which you just what's the old saying, like with quarterbacks, if you got 2, you don't have any? Well, same here. If you got 3 punters, you don't have any. So you got Matthew Harbaugh, who stunk last year. James Burnip from Alabama has a huge leg, but the consistency's been an issue. And now you brought in Kai Kroger. So you got 3 punters right now in camp, and it feels – by the way, all 3 are SEC punters. I mean, Hayball's from Vanderbilt, Burnip's from Alabama, and Kroger's from South Carolina. So these SEC specialists just dominating the Saints. I look at that and I go, this is wide open. Like, the punter job, it may not be something we're talking a ton about in the context of the entire Saints team, but when for a decade – you had Thomas Morstead who held down that spot, and you just didn't have to think about it. This is something it feels like we've had to think about every year since Morstead has been gone, and this is no exception because now you've got 3 punters, all with very relatively little to no experience whatsoever. So in any event, we'll keep an eye on it. We'll follow. We'll see how it all goes. But Harbaugh punted 75 times last year for the Saints, averaged 44 yards per punt. He's the incumbent, but they wouldn't keep bringing in guys to take his job if they were confident with him. So something worth watching here as they move forward. All right, it's After Further Review Thursday. Shows presented by Decision Critical Concierge Nursing in Baton Rouge. Remember Parish Construction and Roofing. Yesterday, the weather yesterday was atrocious. In our studio, we were talking about this here with Brian Neal, the manager at Court's Table, because with all that bad weather, they lost power here for a little bit. And I told him, I said, look, when we're in studio at our building downtown Baton Rouge, Guarantee, that's like a bomb shelter. I mean, it's like there are no windows. You are insulated from the world. Like it's almost like being in a Vegas casino. There are no clocks. You don't know what time it is. Like you have no idea what's happening in the world. Like you exist in that little creation. But man, I'm driving home and like There's traffic lights that are out and power's out. There's down tree limbs. It was an awful storm. There was hail all over the Bluebonnet area in Baton Rouge. So if you experience that bad weather, and basically if you're in Baton Rouge, you did, and points beyond, you might have had issues with your roof. Let us come help you out. Parish Construction and Roofing. Go to parishbuilt.com, parishbuilt.com, parishbuilt.com. Fill out the form on the homepage, or you could always just reach out to me. Like, I'm more than happy to help facilitate. You can text me on my text line. You can tweet me. You can email me. Hit me up. I am more than happy to help facilitate getting one of our inspectors to your house. Remember, we always offer free, no-obligation roofing inspections. That is so important to know. And even if you don't call us, nobody should ever charge you for a roof inspection, just so you know. Like you should never pay for a roof inspection. And you should never have an obligation. Never sign a contract with anybody after a roof inspection. Like, you should get your inspection report, be informed, and then you make the decision. We'd love to help you through it at Parish Construction and Roofing. Parishbuilt.com, parishbuilt.com. Do business with someone you know. Parish Construction and Roofing. Former Tiger great Will Blackwell is going to be with us here in 6 minutes from right now. The position group battle that I am watching in Saints camp more than any other, outside of quarterback, is cornerback. And I feel like we've talked about this a little bit, but maybe not enough, because for so long it feels like that spot, especially with Marshawn Lattimore, was locked down. And the investment you made in that position with Paulson Adebo there as well, you felt like you were good with Lattimore and Adebo, and then Adebo gets hurt, and then you drafted Alontae Taylor, who's certainly a better nickel safety than he is boundary corner, but played boundary corner last year and really struggled. And so you go into this season having drafted Kool-Aid McKinstry a year ago and thinking maybe Kool-Aid's ready to be a starting NFL corner, but the other spot is just a gigantic question mark. And, Kellen Moore, who, as we noted, doesn't often say much, when he was meeting with reporters on Wednesday after camp, he was asked about Kool-Aid McKinstry and the job he's done in camp so far, and he actually had some interesting things to say about Kool-Aid.
This has been a big-time camp for Kool-Aid. He's played phenomenal. His confidence every single day. He's just making a ton of plays, and you can just see his ability to transition in the coverage game is really, really good.
So, to hear something that descriptive, to say this has been a big-time camp, he's transformed his body, that's about as descriptive as you'll get from Kellen Moore. And he went on when he was asked about what his impressions were of Kool-Aid when Kellen Moore, took the Saints job.
Certainly felt like he was going to be, like we've always talked about, that second year big jump. Sometimes that first year, obviously for him, dealing with some injuries, slows you down a little bit in that first year. This was going to be a second year jump. We felt really confident that was going to be. When I was in Philly, we thought really, really highly of him. And, certainly Brandon did, during the draft process the year before as well when he was in San Francisco. So we felt like, we were going to create a really, really good opportunity there for him.
Maybe that's a big part of why they were willing to let Paulson Adebo walk in free agency, because they invested the second-round pick into Kool-Aid McKinstry and said, we believe we have something with this guy. And the decision a year ago, now this wasn't Kellen Moore's decision, but a year ago when they traded Marshawn Lattimore, which appears to be at this point the right decision, they were moving on to get younger at the position, and they identified Kool-Aid, and maybe he's ready, and it would be awesome if he is, because then you'd lock down one side. Then the question becomes the other side. Well, Quincy Riley is a guy that we talked about during the pre-draft process because the Saints brought him in for a top 30 workout. They went and did to his pro day at Louisville. They put a ton of time into Quincy Riley, and we talked a lot about him as a projected second or third round pick. Well, they ended up landing him on day 3 in the draft. And look, he had an interception of Spencer Rattler on Wednesday that Kellen Moore highlighted.
It'll be awesome one to watch on film and just have those conversations with the players just to make sure we're good. I thought it was a good, initially there was certainly we gave ourselves a chance. It was a good ball. Unfortunately, I think Quincy made a phenomenal play going and attacking the football, similar to Julian a couple days ago when he was in here attacking the football. I think our DBs are doing a great job of locating the football, and we got to clean it up on the offense side to see it and give ourselves a chance.
And then one more on that. Because remember, if Kellen Moore's gushing about Kool-Aid on one side, could Quincy Riley be the other cornerback? This was Kellen Moore on his impression so far of Quincy Riley.
Yeah, he finds the ball and he attacks the football. I think that's one thing that we saw on film coming into the draft process. He's a ball guy. That's what you need on the back end. Mistakes are going to happen, but when you create turnovers, those impact games.
Okay, maybe it's Isaac Adam. Maybe. But you're talking about a guy that basically has been a rotational player and a backup in his career. Maybe it's Isaac Adam to start the season. Maybe it's Alontae Taylor. I don't know. But I can see a world where, in my purview of the New Orleans Saints, I know a lot of you don't like me saying this, but I don't care what their win-loss record is. Like, I don't expect them to be good this year. They literally, quite literally, have the worst odds of all 32 teams in the NFL to win the Super Bowl. Earlier this month, ESPN did a roster ranking. They ranked every team 1 to 32 based on the roster. The New Orleans Saints were 32nd, dead last. Like, I have zero expectations of this Saints team winning a lot of games, going to the playoffs. I have no expectation. What I want to see is progress to see if you can lay the foundation with your young players. And this is a great example. This position battle at corner is a great example of it. Because if Kool-Aid McKinstry, a second-year player who's a round 2 pick, and Quincy Riley, a rookie who's a day 3 pick, end up becoming your starting corners and they become viable starters for you, this is how you start to build a roster that can win a championship. Because you have young players that you drafted that become starters that are on affordable deals, and that frees up money to be able to go pay good free agents to supplement your roster. Now, you still got to figure out quarterback, obviously, which is the most important, and maybe that happens this year with Shuck and Rattler, and I get why we're spending so much time on quarterback, as well we should. But if you're a Saints fan, you should be pulling hard for Quincy Riley and Kool-Aid McKinstry to be awesome and prove they can be starting NFL corners, because if they are, that is a case in point of what you need to have happen with your draft picks to end up building a contender, because we saw it in 2006. We saw it again in 2017. Go back to 1981, those are the 3 greatest drafts in Saints history. Look at them, and it parallels the 3 greatest eras in Saints football history, because you were able to draft starters, which made your roster a talented, affordable roster to then be able to go forward good free agents to build a contending roster. Watch the cornerbacks. All right, Thursday shows are brought to you by Decision Critical Concierge Nursing in Baton Rouge. Former Tiger All-American Will Blackwell joins us next on AFR.
AFR.
AFR is brought to you by Clegg's Nursery, 4 locations in the greater Baton Rouge area: Segan near Airline, LA 16 in Denham, Mid-City on Don Moore, and the Garden Center on Greenwell Springs. Hey, if you have mosquitoes, let's be honest, we live in Louisiana. Everyone has mosquitoes, right? I don't. Come to my house. Well, actually, don't come to my house. You're not invited. But if you were invited, you came to my house. I have a pool, and I have a pond behind my house, and we do not have mosquitoes. And the only thing I use is the Aeon mosquito barrier that I got at Clegg's Nursery. I've told you about it before. It's like $30. It's the size of a track baton. You put water in it, fill it up to the fill line. It's got granules in it. Shake it up, hang it on your property line, and you're done with mosquitoes for 90 days at a time. It's wild, but it works. And if it doesn't work for you, then you're out like $30. But try it. If you have mosquitoes, go to Clegg's. Ask about the Aeon mosquito barrier at Clegg's Nursery.
At Ochsner, we know healing is a team sport. That's why we've partnered with world-renowned orthopedic surgeon Dr. James Andrews to create the Ochsner Andrews Orthopedics and Sports Medicine Institute. Whether you're a professional athlete or a weekend warrior, our team of specialists are dedicated to getting you back in the game. So whatever your reasons are for reaching your personal best, we've only got one: you. Ochsner Andrews Institute. Long live you.
Bayou Chrysler Dodge Jeep Ram is taking $22,500 off MSRP on the brand new 2025 Ram 1500 Laramie with $22,500 off MSRP with a complimentary 7-year powertrain warranty that comes with all new Bayou Automotive vehicles. If you need sales or service, the crew at Bayou Automotive is going to do right by you.
Businesses like yours are the soul of our community. You deserve someone who'll deliver the internet services you deserve. That's why local businesses rely on Rev Business, 90 years of building connections. Visit us at letsrev.biz.
River Parish Contractors has immediate openings for structural steel shop fabricators. Call or text Big Jake today at 318-547-1000 or go to rpcontractors.com and click on employment. River Parish Contractors. Let's get building.
We typically think of stress as being bad for us. At Our Lady of the Lake and LSU, we are researching how certain types of stress, such as exercise, can be good for our immune health. By studying people under extreme stress, such as athletes, astronauts, service members, and first responders, we're learning how to improve the immune health of everyone. That's the power of research. That's the impact of champions. Together, we roar.
At Luba Workers' Comp, our journey began over 30 years ago with a simple belief: our clients come first.
At Luba, our business has always been focused on people, not policies.
Through every success and challenge, we've continued to grow because we've stayed true to our values, committed to providing you with genuine dependability.
Because your well-being is more than a priority. It's our purpose.
There it is, the extra mile, on the border of expected and extraordinary, for those willing to go further, like Vans custom.
After further review with Matt Moscona, presented by Decision Critical Concierge Nursing. Healthcare for your lifestyle. Learn more at decisioncriticalbr.com.
We've made it pretty known, what our goal is. And our goal is to go 1-0. To go 1-0.
Brian Kelly has said it all offseason. It's a giant logo on the big old screen at the indoor facility. They've got it everywhere. You've heard plenty about it. It's been a giant talking point since media days and even before. LSU's looking to break their 5-game losing streak in opener. 3 of those have been under Brian Kelly, and they're trying to do it facing their toughest opponent, which is a true road game at Clemson, who we all assume is going to be a preseason top 5 team. This will be LSU's toughest opener since 2011, when it was a top 5 matchup in Arlington against Oregon. Will Blackwell was an All-American offensive lineman on that 2011 team, and he's good enough to join us here to talk a little bit about it. Willie B., how are you, man?
Hey, what's up, Matt Moscona? How's it going down there in BR?
It's awesome. Fall camp is here. Not nearly as brutal as the fall camps that y'all used to have with Les Miles, but they're off and running, man, and heading toward this Clemson game. I want to cover a lot of ground with you, but I kind of want to tap into what you remember about that 2011 offseason leading up to Oregon, because I seem to remember there was a real heavy focus internally on that game. Is that how you remember it?
Yeah, of course, Matt. And, that's probably one thing we should really always give credit to Les for is he kind of started the big preseason game format. I remember actually I guess it would have been 2009, the end of 2009, he brought us together as a team and gave us the option to play North Carolina in Atlanta, 2010. And after we all, of course, unanimously decided, let's play that game, he kind of threw in, maybe the next year we'll have somebody bigger. And then, of course, soon after the next year, we figured out it was going to be Oregon. And I think his main argument and what it really kind of always did, Matt, from a training perspective, was it gave you something to look forward to, especially when you're 8 or 9 days into camp and you're going against the same guy for, at that time when we were doing 2 days, it's been 15, 20 practices. It gets hard to stay focused. You're tired, but when you know that there's another team lining up the top 5 matchup, you don't really have a choice to lay down or be tired. So I think it's a great motivator. I just don't understand the disconnect between being motivated and playing great that Kelly's kind of seemed to fumble a little bit.
What is your observation there?
I don't know. I guess you could say the first one, I guess, would have been Florida State, New Orleans.
Yeah.
That, that's tough. That's a tough matchup either way. You know, we missed a kick at the end. We're in that game. What was it? Next year we played them and they beat us pretty bad with Jordan Travis. That was a special team for them. Probably should have performed better, but we all know how defense and everything turned out. So yeah, that's kind of two tough breaks. You don't necessarily hope for that, but I can't argue against the motivation that it provides in summer workouts and August camp.
Would you prefer?
It's a huge gamble, but it's a huge reward.
Would you prefer to play the Marquee Open? You were a freshman. You redshirted in 2007. Where y'all played Mississippi State. 2008 would have been Appalachian State. 2009 was Washington. 2010 was North Carolina. 2011 was Oregon. So you played one kind of crappy opponent, the Appalachian State. I know they build it against the national champions playing each other, but it was a crappy opponent. Like, would you prefer the crappy opponent or the Marquee opener?
No, I think you go to LSU thinking first of all that you can win every game, and you think that you're going to be playing the best talent. So I don't believe that any of those guys wouldn't want to play in a marquee matchup. I would actually kind of be disappointed if they didn't.
Okay.
This is every week of the SEC. I don't see that the first game is much different, really.
Will Blackwell is with us. The other big difference between now and when you played, and I was talking about this earlier, Will. I mean, this is my 19th fall camp that I've covered, and some of those. So yeah, I know, right? Some of those fall camps under Les were just, God, they were just. It was just so brutal. I mean, he was trying to grind you all into dust. This is so dramatically different, and so they're trying to balance getting guys ready to play, but listening to the medical science, the analytics, and all to take care of these guys, to preserve them. Where do you fall on that conversation?
I love it, Matt, because I don't want to have a guy that's fully bought into the technology and the analytics, and I don't want a guy that's fully bought into the Bo Schembechler, Woody Hayes. We got to run the Oklahoma drill and do the big cat and try to murder someone. So the fact that you and we trust you. A lot of us trust you as a very solid source within the program, and for you to say that Kelly and Baker and those guys are trying to float somewhere around the middle on that scale, to me, that's important because, yeah, man, you got to get out there and you got to beat each other up. You got to find out who's tough and who's not. But there's a point to where it's a detriment to your body, and this is a very long, grueling season, and they finally come around to believe that is a fact, as opposed to let's see how many times we can practice these guys and try to break one of them.
Did you feel that in those fall camps that they were?
Yeah, but then again, like you mentioned earlier, the game itself and the culture around the game is so much different. We were kind of on the tail end of that's just how football was. That's how every football camp until then was ever done, and that's how they were run. And you were going to run 2-a-days in your sweaty, gross, stinky pads with your sprained ankle, and if you didn't want to practice, then you go to the second team, and that's just kind of how it was.
It's so interesting, too. And Will Blackwell's our guest, who was an All-American in that 2011 season, by the way. But it's like, Will, it's not that long ago that you played. It's not like we're talking about the Junction Boys in the 1950s. It
feels like it.
But it doesn't. But it does. But exactly, because the game has evolved so much, it does feel like it was a lifetime ago. We got a couple more minutes, so I want to pick your brain on a few other things. You're also a guy that started your career as a defensive lineman, converted to offensive line, and then became an All-American. When I ask you about some of the cross-training that's happening right now, like Carius Kern's a freshman that's learning to play left tackle. DJ Chester was a center who's now moving to guard. How difficult are those transitions for those guys? Maybe a better way to ask it, Will, is what's a realistic expectation immediately for those guys switching positions?
Well, I think first of all, it depends on athletic ability. Obviously, I would probably consider myself middle of the road in terms of defensive line, right? If you have a guy that's above average athletic ability, that takes a couple of weeks or a little bit of time out of the training process. However, the biggest switch from the way I did it, from defensive line to offensive line, you don't ever really see it the other way around, was just the mental aspect. especially when you grow up playing defense, Matt, you if you're an edge rusher or a defensive tackle, you can brute force your way into being a good player. If you're quick, you got a couple good pass rush moves, you can still be okay. I mean, obviously got to keep your contain or stay in your gap, whatever. When you're playing offensive line, you can't afford to make a mistake. You got to know the playbook. There's not a okay, I only have to watch this one guy. You got to know what everyone's doing. It's more in unison. So I guess having to rely more on your mental capabilities and a quicker recall than just like, okay, I'm going to go up here and rush this guy and I got to beat him and get to the quarterback.
It's so funny. I'm glad you went there because so when Brian Kelly met with reporters yesterday, effectively the one offensive line spot that's locked down, he sort of conceded, is Braylon Moore. The Virginia Tech transfer is going to play center. Now, they had DJ Chester there last year, and he started all 13 games, but Chester has even acknowledged to the media, like, he'd rather play guard because all of the things you just said that go along. And he's also a giant, and huge offensive linemen don't typically play center. So if I asked you, like, the most important position on the offensive line, like, is, even if everybody else is in a new spot, Will, is starting with a guy with 40 career starts or whatever it is for Braylon Moore at center, like, is that the starting point that you want to build around?
Yes. If you are in a lab or in a draft war room and you get 5 picks and you're going to pick first, yes, you're going to pick the smart, experienced, athletic center. Now, not that can't be overcome, right? Center is the most important position. However, if one of those guards is, above average or smart, if you kind of overcome a few of the mishaps. I'm not trying to touch on 2011. As P.J. Lonergan and T-Bob were both very good centers, but at times that they did battle injury or there was a little bit of rotations, less like to rotate those guys. It does kind of throw off the timing. We were okay because the other guys could pick up the slack, right? And that's really what we talk about when we talk about offensive line. We do want our center to be the quarterback, quote unquote, of the line, but it's a unit. It's a squad. It's like the old game where you're all tied to a string and you got to keep the string together. And if somebody gets out of line, it pops. It's just a perfect analogy that comes to my brain. 4 guys do everything right. One guy does something wrong, and it's a negative play.
I wish we had more time. Let me ask you one more. How good do you think this line can be, even losing 4 basically having 5 new starters all in new positions?
Well, you talk about the experience. We brought some experience in from the kid that's playing for Virginia Tech. The other guard is going to be the kid from Northwestern. You got Chester. So they all have played and do have experience. And I think they can probably hone in on that, Matt. But as you know, it's all about really building trust and relationships. And if the coaching staff can put those guys in the right positions in the next 4 to 5 weeks to where they feel comfortable and can rely on each other, then, I think we have enough skill and talent around them to kind of help them elevate their game.
It's former All-American Will Blackwell. Always appreciate the visit, man. We'll do it again. Thank you.
Good talking to you, Matt. You got to bring me to the table next time I'm down there.
Dude, I swear, next time you're here, tell me, give me a heads up. I would love to bring you out, man. Bring you, your family, on me. We'll come eat and drink. It'd be great.
Sounds great. Thanks, Matt.
All right, brother. Be good. That's former Tiger All-American Will Blackwell. Appreciate his time and his perspective. Really, just a really good conversation. All right, we're here at Court to Table. Remember, tons of space for events, LSU watch parties, fantasy draft parties, that great business lunch and learn, birthday parties. Matter of fact, I'm coming back with 14 family members tomorrow. My wife's birthday was yesterday. My niece's birthday was on Tuesday. So the whole family's getting together here tomorrow at Court to Table. I'm telling you, come experience it. You'll love it. Hall of Fame game tonight. I'm hanging out for the Hall of Fame game, so come join us here at Court to Table on Burbank. Let me knock out our final break of hour number 2. Muse will do Tigers and the Pros when we continue next.
After further review.
Action Industries is a proud partner of LSU Athletics, and they're an amazing industrial contractor. Exemplary safety record and awesome quality work, which is why they've been around for 43 years, because they keep getting hired. And you don't get hired inside the fence if you don't have an exemplary safety record. They beat the industry standard. And at Action Industries, they do so much more. Look, they've got the Advanced Turnaround Group, right? So the Advanced Turnaround Group is a subsidiary of Action Industries. So it's the same company, right? It's just their turnaround arm of the business. And the Advanced Turnaround Group has so many different services they offer, which set them apart. 24-hour availability for emergency, specialty welding. They give you great personal attention, and these are people whose entire careers are centered around completing your turnaround safely and effectively. It's the Advanced Turnaround Group over at Action Industries.
At Luba Workers' Comp, our journey began over 30 years ago with a simple belief. Our clients come first.
At Luba, our business has always been focused on people, not policies.
Through every success and challenge, we've continued to grow because we've stayed true to our values, committed to providing you with genuine dependability.
Because your well-being is more than a priority. It's our purpose.
At Sunshine, we know what you see when you look at your land. Where others may see dirt, you see the foundation you've built your life on. This, it's hallowed ground. It's past, present, and future. We're proud to provide quality John Deere equipment to help you maintain the land you love. Check out our current promotions and learn more about what it means to be powered by sunshine at sunequip.com.
Gulf Coast Office Products is a nationally recognized Savin office equipment dealer based right here in Louisiana. Over 100 employees strong, Gulf Coast has the boots on the ground to support all vertical markets, from education, engineering, legal, and finance. With the latest in office technology, from desktop to production segment units, Gulf Coast and Savin have the perfect fit for you. Call 225-756-2644. That's 756-2644 for Gulf Coast Office Products.
You gotta believe in a dream. Believe. You gotta believe in a dream. Believe. You gotta believe. Whole team on wild.
At Atmos Energy, our smart choice solutions help customers save energy and emissions with rebates up to $500 off high-efficiency natural gas appliances, smart thermostats, and weatherization upgrades. Together, we're fueling our energy future.
Today, we are shaping tomorrow.
We are researching how extreme stress impacts the immune system, from trauma victims to athletes and even astronauts.
Our work is leading the way in sepsis treatment, saving countless lives.
We're unlocking the mind with music in exciting new ways.
Our Lady of the Lake Health and LSU are improving the health of our state.
That's the impact of champions.
Imagine the impact we'll have on the future. Together, we roar.
River Parish Contractors has immediate openings for structural steel shop fabricators. Call or text Big Jake today at 318-547-1000 or go to RP.
After further review with Matt Moscona, presented by Decision Critical Concierge Nursing. Healthcare for your lifestyle. Learn more at decisioncriticalbr.com.
All right, Sean Salisbury will be with us right after SportsCenter. We move into hour 3. We always appreciate our friends at Decision Critical Concierge Nursing in Baton Rouge. Not just healthcare, it's healthcare for your lifestyle. Schedule that discovery call at decisioncriticalbr.com. Decisioncriticalbr.com. Musso, Tigers in the pros.
Tigers in the pros. They still bleed purple and gold. They're just really rich now.
All right, MLB trade deadline is about to hit right here at the top of the hour. The Tampa Bay Rays and the Los Angeles Dodgers, they had a trade earlier on Thursday that involved a bunch of players, but two of them were LSU guys. Paul Gervais is being sent to the Los Angeles Dodgers in exchange for Hunter Fiducia, who's going back to the Rays. Gervais made his MLB debut this season with Tampa Bay. 5 appearances, I should say, in ERA of 4.2. Hunter Fiducia, of course, spent time with both the big club, the Los Angeles Dodgers, and in AAA with Oklahoma City. Some NFL news as well. Terrace Marshall is officially now out of Eagles training camp with a knee injury. That is per the Philadelphia Eagles. He went down on Tuesday with some friendly fire. They just turned it a leg, but now we know it was a knee. He was helped off the field in that situation as well. Some Major League Baseball actual action from a night ago. Cole Henry on the bump in relief for the Nationals, and did not go well. 2/3 of an inning, gave up 2 hits, 3 earned, walked a guy, didn't strike out anybody, also surrendered a home run. That home run was in the 6th inning, and it was a 3-run shot with 2 outs. So, man, needed to get that last out instead the ball sailed over the fence on him. But he'll bounce back, still sporting a nice sub-4 ERA there for the Nationals. He's been great so far since making his debut. That's Tigers in the Pros.
Presented by Rouse's, the official supermarket of the New Orleans Saints. Rouse's.com. Rouse's.com also celebrating 65 years in business. Man, they've been a great partner of ours. Love telling you about Rouse's. You know, there's 70-some-odd locations from Lake Charles to Orange Beach, Alabama. And, y'all, the truckload sale is going on right now over at Rouse's. So get on by through August the 6th and save big. How about $1.97 a pound for medium or St. Louis-style pork ribs? $12.99 right now for 40-ounce pack of right bacon. Amazing deals. You can find them right now. The truckload sales going on at Rouse's, the official supermarket of the New Orleans Saints. Rouse's.com, Rouse's.com, Rouse's. This feels like home. All right, y'all, we're hanging out at Court to Table, fired up to be here. The NFL preseason gets underway tonight. It's the Hall of Fame game up in Canton, Ohio. The Lions against the Chargers. If you missed it earlier, Trey Lance is going to start for the Chargers, the former number 3 overall pick. And despite that, the Lions are I'm checking an updated line right now, but the Lions at last look were a 1.5-point favorite. They still are. So the Lions are 1.5-point favorite in this game, and the total in the game is just 33.5. Typically, preseason games, it's almost like an auto play. You bet the under. However, the last 3 Hall of Fame games have gone over the total. So if you're a total degenerate and you are just aching to bet on football, what an awesome opportunity. There's no better place to watch it than right here at Court to Table. I'm fired up to be here, be hanging out for the game after the show finishes. So you knock off of work, grab your buddies, come hang out with us at Court to Table. I want you to experience this place. It'll be your new spot for football this season. Hour 3 next.
After further review.
As we put a button on hour number 2, remind you about the Williamson Eye Center. Hey, I got a notification today. I got a text. Honest to goodness, man, I got a text today. I can't even I guess I could make this up, but I'm not making it up. Got a text earlier today acknowledging, here it is, at 11:06. At 11:06 this morning. Matt, our record has indicated it's time for your next eye exam. To schedule your appointment, call 924-2020. 924-2020. 924-2020 or williamsoneye.com, because you should always get your annual eye exam. So call 924-2020. 924-2020 for the Williamson Eye Center, or you can always go to williamsoneye.com. Not just for you and me, adults, but back to school is right around the corner. Make sure you get your eye exam for your kiddos before they go back to school. You want them to be able to see the board or see their computer, whatever the case may be. The Williamson Eye Center can help with locations all over Greater Baton Rouge. williamsoneye.com.
ED, low T, or simply seeking to optimize your health and performance? Goodwood Men's Sexual Wellness offers a range of discreet services to address your specific needs. We empower men to reclaim their health and confidence. Visit yourgoodwood.com.
We typically think of stress as being bad for us. At Our Lady of the Lake and LSU, we are researching how certain types of stress, such as exercise, can be good for our immune health. By studying people under extreme stress, such as athletes, astronauts, service members, and first responders, we're learning how to improve the immune health of everyone. That's the power of research. That's the impact of champions. Together, we roar.
Gulf Coast Bank and Trust is giving our customers the power to bank anywhere, anytime during this challenging event. And we're right there with you. Our mobile banking app is a smart way to manage your money and time. Gulf Coast Bank and Trust, the bank that cares about you.
Parish Construction and Roofing.
This is Coach Kim Mulkey. Go to parishbuilt.com for all of your roofing needs.
From your hometown, parishbuilt.com.
Hi, this is Beth Tarina. Welcome to my pool. The first time I saw this beautiful pool, it exceeded every expectation that I had. They were able to get everything we wanted in this pool. It is a beautiful pool. We live out here, we eat out here, we watch TV out here. This is like our living room outside. We love this pool and everything about it. When we decided to build our pool, we called a great friend who is one of the best pool builders in the country in North Louisiana, and we said, who would you choose to build a pool in Baton Rouge? And without a hesitation, he told us Russell Pools. He said their history, tradition of great builds, great pools was unmatched. So of course, who did we call? Russell Pools. The advice I would give to anyone looking to build a pool is first call Russell Pools. They'll do an incredible job. It'll be incredibly organized. It'll be time efficient, and you will have your pool in no time.
BRAC teamed up to reimagine your parks, and you imagined big. With your help, we went to work, creating 12 beautiful community parks across the parish. A family-sized water park, miles and miles of trails, and parks just for your dogs. There are more places to splash, to explore, to run wild, and even soar. You imagined, we delivered. Gold. BRAC, your #1 park system in the nation.
This is SportsCenter.
I'm Christine Lisi. As the deadline passes, plenty of moves from contenders on this MLB trade deadline day. The Rangers acquired righty starter Merrill Kelly from the Diamondbacks and reliever Phil Maton from the Cardinals. Houston's bringing back shortstop Carlos Correa after a deal with the Twins. Padres acquired one of baseball's top closers, Mason Miller, and starter J.P. Sears from the A's for a package that includes the 3rd overall prospect in all of baseball, Leodalis DeVries. Pods also acquired first baseman Ryan O'Hearn and outfielder Ramon Laureano from Baltimore. ESPN MLB analyst Eduardo Perez.
Ramon Laureano can play defense. He can throw with the best of them, and he's been swinging the bat really well. O'Hearn made the All-Star team. It was the only representative from the Baltimore Orioles. This is 2 pickups offensively that the Padres now can say, okay, we can go up against anyone.
Orioles center fielder Cedric Mullins heading to the Mets. The Phillies acquired outfielder Harrison Bader from the Twins. Yankees traded for Pirates reliever David Bednar and Rockies reliever Jake Bird. NBA Knicks forward Mikal Bridges agrees to a 4-year, $150 million extension, reports ESPN's Shams Charania.
ESPN Radio is presented by Progressive Insurance. At Progressive, we offer auto, home, and commercial auto insurance, plus a variety of business insurance options to cover your small business needs and more. Visit Progressive.com today.
Matt Moscona.
I'm very important.
After further review.
Say it one more time.
After further review with Matt Moscona.
And here we go.
Live from the Mercedes-Benz of Baton Rouge studio.
Let's ride!
Hour 3, off we go. Welcome aboard. Glad you're with us. AFR, presented by Decision Critical Concierge Nursing in Baton Rouge. Matt Moscona, we are live today from court to table. So fired up to introduce y'all to this awesome venue. I promise this is going to be your new favorite spot to watch football this fall. Great place for any event. Lots of different options for spacing and catering. Just come by tonight. We'll be watching the Hall of Fame game, as I'm sure Sean Salisbury will as well. We get to talk to Sean Tuesdays during football season. He's good enough to hang out with us for a little bit here on this Thursday, as most everyone started fall camp now. Sean, how are you, man?
I'm doing good, Matt. How are you, brother?
Man, I'm doing awesome. I'm excited to watch the football. Do you get into watching preseason?
You know, I'll tell you what I'd love to do if I could go watch the ball and see it. Everybody's like practices every day for training camp. I'm not. And when people say, well, it doesn't matter, it does. That 5th round pick or that backup trying to make a team. But I don't. I'll watch bits and pieces of preseason, but I'm not going to tune in unless it's my team, right? If the Raiders are playing or watching the Texans, I do watch and I follow closely. But I'll actually end up watching more of the guys who are trying to make a team than I will 7 or 8 snaps from a starter, because I wouldn't play my starters much in preseason. Yeah. I've changed on that, Matty, because I need them with the limited practices and all those things in depth. I wouldn't play them much, but I do get into it. I just don't watch game to game, but I do pay attention to all of it because, you know, I like to see who the new guys are going to be as opposed to the guys I know are going to show up.
Yeah, I'm the junkie who loves the battle for roster spot 51, 52, 53, so I'm locked into it. Hey, I want to talk quarterbacks with you, and I know we have a limited time, so I want to jam. There's some LSU SEC quarterbacks I want to get into, but if I could first get a thought, this Rattler-Shuck battle in New Orleans, it's all anyone here is talking about. Look, realistically, Sean, we haven't seen much of either of these guys, but how much of an advantage do you think Spencer Rattler has, having played in a handful of games a year ago, over the rookie Tyler Shuck?
If it was the same system, same coach, same coordinator, I'd say a pretty good advantage. Experience matters, but, you know, we obviously know that Sugar's played in the big game, has a lot of experience because of his travels in college. So it's an advantage because, you know, Matty, is even when you're playing in the SEC or you're playing in the Pac-12 when it was there, or you're playing wherever you're playing in the Big 12, the game moves fast, man. But it moves a lot faster on Sundays because all those guys were the best player everywhere. So, but it's still football. It's still 11 on 11. You can't make it bigger. Then it's just a matter of who's going to spend time in the field. A lot of times it's the mental side that eliminates or pushes a guy ahead. So advantage, no doubt advantage Spencer Rattler, but I don't give him a huge advantage because they're basically at square one. And, Matty, what I do, I know who goes in taking maybe the first snaps, obviously, but I let them compete because neither one is, and even though Rattler's there, he's the incumbent. Neither one of them have played enough football for me to say that's a guarantee he's going to be good. And who's going to grasp what Kellen wants to do? So I think it's a huge training camp, but I also think that this job is up for grabs depending on the everyday, day-to-day practice.
Sean Salisbury is with us. We'll have plenty of time to talk NFL. I want to get your thought on a few of these SEC quarterbacks. Some that are incumbent, some that are new, but all that have questions. You know, Garrett Nussmeier, we talked plenty about last year, Sean, but do you have a realistic expectation for Nuss going from the starter in year one to a fifth-year guy now starting for the second season?
I do. I have, you know how much I loved him, and Matty, we had talked weekly about, you know, he'd had some up and down moments, but you know what? The fact that he came back tells me something. He knew he needed stuff to work on. He's got good genes, being the DNA at home to tell him and walk him through the good and the bad, obviously, and his pop's not far away. So I do, and I'll tell you what I expect. I expect a guy that's a first-round quarterback playing like it at LSU. And regardless of how you feel and the pressure that may be on Brian Kelly, even though he's got that big contract that you and I have discussed, with Nussmeier, Brian does the impact he's had when a guy's been there a year or two at places. This could be it's his year 3 for Nuss, and now it's his year where he's the solid guy, year 2. This is a moving year for him. I expect him to play like a first-rounder and be one of the best, if not the best quarterback in that conference.
So everyone sort of has the question then, like, about Arch. And could he be – he's the preseason Heisman favorite. Part of me gets it, Sean, because you're setting odds. He's going to play in an offense that's got a lot of talent, really good coach.
Yep.
And so the odds makers aren't going to put themselves at too big of a liability. But, I mean, you're there sort of in the belly of the beast based out of Houston. What do you think for Arch as a third-year player but a first-year starter?
And you know, Matty, you know this, my affinity for the Mannings, and I love them. And the way they go about this methodically, not transferring, has been good. Listen, he's on an extremely gifted team with a great play-calling coach in Austin, Texas, and he's waited and learned and got a little playing time. So I understand the hype, but he would not be the Heisman frontrunner based on just the last name, because there are guys who even in the conference, whether it's Nussmeier, Lagway, I love Lenore Steller's ability to take over a game. So I'm a big Arch Manning fan. The one thing I do know, and knowing the family, and in talking to, to Cooper about it, he will be prepared mentally. We don't have to worry about, is he going to get into his books? Is he going to study and be ready to go? Now it just comes back to be lucky with injury. He gives you some feet. And I would tell you this, and he's going to be tested right off the bat, is he's got to get away from worrying about social media and the hype and being a hero every play, because we expect it. He's got to go just do the simple things that Sark's going to ask him. The rest will come with his natural ability. But, man, there's nobody that's got more pressure at the position in the country because of who he is and the expectations and where he's playing. But I expect him to play well. I would bet I would take somebody else on the Heisman Trophy. If he stays another year, then talk to me. Now, he may explode, but he's going to be tested. I just think it's a lot to ask a guy who's trying to get experience and the expectations. If he doesn't play hero ball will naturally visit. But he will be prepared to understand what defenses are trying to do, I guarantee you.
Sean Salisbury's with us. You said you like Lenoris Sellers. Why?
I don't just like him. I love him.
Okay.
And I know this is going to sound kind of cheesy and what have you, but we've talked for years. I'm into all the other stuff, the intangibles that bring that we sometimes can't put a finger on. Obviously, he's talented. He's a big, strong, dual-threat physical guy. I love the way he's coached. But there's a difference, and I saw it, and I've seen it in great athletes, and I'm not comparing him to the best of the best, but I saw it in Kobe Bryant. I saw it in Larry Bird. I saw it in Michael Jordan. I saw it in Tom Brady. I've seen it with a couple of my teammates. Junior Seau, he had it. That there's a refusal to lose. Now, they're going to lose some, but there's this feeling of, you know what, it's not a matter of I do have the will to, it's the refusal to lose, and I think he's one of those guys that, regardless of how he's playing with his feet or his arm, somehow, some way, he feels like he's going to win. And if they'd have got into the playoffs, I think they'd have been dangerous, because we are so quarterback-centric in sports now. He is a guy who can take over a game both ways. I'm a big fan, and if he continues to elevate as a passer, South Carolina's dangerous. I'm a huge fan. And I'm having a hard time, Maddie, and I'm thinking of not making a bet on him to be the Heisman Trophy winner. If they win, and it's hard, it's a tough conference, I get all that, but I'm telling you, if he has them hanging around, he's going to get a lot of votes, because he may not have the gaudiest passing numbers, but if you're looking for a winner and a monster, he's really gifted. Now, I don't know how that's going to translate to Sunday, but as a college player right now, he's a different breed, and he's cut different, man. I'm telling you, built different.
Okay, last one is DJ Lagway, because it's interesting, Sean. His numbers last year mirrored Michael Van Buren at Mississippi State, yet Lagway gets all the hype. Van Buren obviously transfers now. Nussmeier's back up at LSU. But their numbers were almost identical. Why are we so high on Lagway?
And you got to look through the numbers, Matty, because there's going to be a lot of quarterbacks who are going to have more yards than some of these guys and do something. And you're going to take a step back and say, okay, so I'm thinking Saturdays, but also Sundays. I'll tell you, I had this kid, Matty, he was a sophomore. I was coaching at a camp, and I was coaching the high school players, and they had their elite players there, and was coaching it, and they moved him up to my group.
Oh, you had Lagway?
I had him when he was a sophomore in high school. I coached him at a camp, and I didn't know who he was. This was before he, took over in the Woodland, out in Conroe or wherever the high school he went to and dominated. He's a great Willis, I guess is where it's at. But the guy's a player. So I had him on the field, and they said, just keep an eye on a couple of these guys and watch him too, just to tell me what you think about him. That's what they said to me. I said, okay, who is he? And they said his name but didn't say anything about it. About 20 minutes into camp, I walked after we threw and we go through one-on-ones. I walked over to the head of the camp, and I said, who is that guy that he told me to watch? He's the best player at this camp, and it's not close. It was DJ Lagway. Great kid. I love him because he's a physical presence. He was so coachable. Now, you would have never known by his demeanor. He didn't say much. Now, I know he's a great leader there, but he was focused on business at this camp. Every rep to him mattered. And he was coachable. Plus, he's big. He's physical. He can run. He's got a great arm. I get it, because people are thinking about him not only for Saturday, but thinking, if you had to risk it right now, the man, Arch Manning, because of the name and because of the potential. But I'm not sure of all these guys we're talking about. If you had to draft a college quarterback today and they were all eligible, I'm not sure they wouldn't start with him as the first pick. He's that good, but the numbers they get skewed. I get why they have him ranked there. Now he's got to go prove it and get him winning again and do it for a full season where he's the guy and it's all in his hands. But there's nothing not to like, and his attitude and as a gentleman and his teammate, I loved him. I did, and I still do.
We love talking to you. Sean Salisbury's with us Tuesdays during football season. It was good enough to hang out for a couple of minutes here today, talk a little quarterback. It's always good to get a little bit of an education. Man, we appreciate it. Looking forward to chatting again this football season as it gets closer, man.
I can't wait. Real quick, Matty, you know what? I look at all these quarterbacks in the SEC starting, some transfers, some that are there. Damn, it's a good list. It's going to be a blast to watch from Vanderbilt all the way to LSU. I can't wait till we get this thing started and these quarterbacks in this conference. I look forward to talking to you all year long, brother. Thank you.
I think it's the deepest quarterback, the league's been a quarterback since 2013. And
no question. And I'm not sure it's close since then, Matty, to be honest with you.
Yeah. Sean, thanks for the time, man. We'll visit soon.
Appreciate you, brother. Thank you.
All right, man. That is the one and only Sean Salisbury. Sports Talk 790 in Houston, on Twitter at Sean Unfiltered. Y'all get him there. We're brought to you by Parish Restoration, parishrestoration.com. Kill mold, remove odor. It's that simple. It's a patented non-toxic dry fog. Let me say it again. A patented, meaning nobody else doing it. Non-toxic, meaning it's safe for plants and pets and everything in your home. And a dry fog, well, opposite of wet, meaning it can get on your furniture and your carpet. Like, you're not cutting sheetrock or pulling up carpet and rugs. Like, they're going to come in, they're going to spray, they're going to let the fog dwell. It'll kill everything, mold down to the spores, other harmful pathogens as well. So it's a great sanitization process as well. It's Parish Restoration. It's cost-effective, it's effective, it's efficient. It's Parish Restoration. Go to parishrestoration.com to learn more. Parishrestoration.com. Parishrestoration.com. Thursday shows are brought to you by Decision Critical. We're glad to be hanging out with you here at Court to Table for another 45 minutes or so. And then afterwards, we're staying for the Hall of Fame game. So if you've never been to Court to Table here on Burbank, get your behind over here. Even if you just pop in, sit with me at the bar and drink a cold Bud Light or say hello, just to walk around as you're planning your fantasy draft party, maybe your game watch with friends or family coming in. Maybe you got a work event where you need to go get a whole bunch of people together. This is an awesome place to do it. They got live music Friday and Saturday night. Thursday night tonight is ladies' night, where it's half off glass of wine for ladies. Wednesday is the Cornhole League and beer buckets and wings and an amazing menu. You got to come try the food here. I'm telling you, this isn't just bar food. They have a chef-curated menu. It's awesome. You got to come experience Court to Table. Get here tonight while we're here. All right, we're going to knock out a break. What do I have next? Let me look at my rundown. My apologies. Okay. I want to jump back into the black and gold. So the Saints, they miss on Noah Fant. What do they do at tight end? If you missed it, they cut Hunter Deckers at quarterback. They signed Kai Kroger, the punter. So some roster movement today for the New Orleans Saints as they're making their way through training camp. We'll delve into that. And then Gordon McKernan is going to join us as well in about 15 minutes. He of GetGordon.com and of Court to Table. Stay with us. Stay AFR. AFR is brought to you by Goodwood Men's Sexual Wellness. Matter of fact, I was over at Goodwood today. Gabe over at Goodwood does an awesome job, and we were just talking about the different therapies that I've been on, how I feel, how we might want to adjust the treatment, which is unique to my case. I've told you for years I've been on hormone therapy. It's been life-altering. I recommend anybody, go get your blood labs drawn to see if you're a candidate. You could safely, affordably supplement to get you to healthy levels, get you feeling right. But also, NAD+. I've told you about my experience with BPC 157, Body Protection Compound 157. Gabe was asking me, like, how do you feel off it now for a month and a half as opposed to when you did on it? So we started to look at what my next cycle on will be like for my back pain. I'm just telling you, you want to live a fuller, healthier, more vital life, pain-free and energetic. You can do it. YourGoodwood.com.
There it is, the extra mile, on the border of expected and extraordinary for those willing to go further, like vans customized for work or play, with safety and tech to keep you connected, supported by a 5-star sales, service, and finance team, and backed by the 1-star you know. So go the extra mile. It's never crowded, because so few have what it takes to go there. Mercedes-Benz Vans.
These are the luckiest ice cubes in the world. They could have been a thankless bed for an all-you-can-eat salad bar. But instead, They've been called upon to cradle and cool a crisp, refreshing Dos Equis. Huh. Looks like the lucky just got luckier. Dos Equis.
Hi, this is Beth Serena. Welcome to my pool. The first time I saw this beautiful pool, it exceeded every expectation that I had. They were able to get everything we wanted in this pool. It is a beautiful pool. We live out here. We eat out here. We watch TV out here. This is like our living room outside. We love this pool and everything about it. When we decided to build our pool, we called a great friend who is one of the best pool builders in the country in North Louisiana, and we said, who would you choose to build a pool in Baton Rouge? And without a hesitation, he told us Russell Pools. He said their history, tradition of great builds, great pools was unmatched. So of course, who did we call? Russell Pools. The advice I would give to anyone looking to build a pool is first call Russell Pools. They'll do an incredible job. It'll be incredibly organized. It'll be time efficient, and you will have your pool in no time.
The Windsor Senior Living Community in Mandeville, Louisiana is a beautiful, vibrant apartment community geared toward seniors. They are nestled right in the heart of Mandeville, where seniors live a more carefree lifestyle in spacious apartments with the peace of mind that comes from having a little extra help. Call the Windsor at 985-624-8040 to schedule a lunch and tour. Come see how the Windsor can be your passport to peace of mind.
We're Rev Business, a local provider with nearly 90 years of experience. So when it comes to business in Louisiana, we know that personalized service is key. And we're here to go the extra mile with all fiber solutions that deliver what every business needs: reliability and quality. We're not just providers. We're the local team dedicated to helping you succeed. True partnerships are homegrown. Rev Business, Internet.
After further review with Matt Moscona, presented by Decision Critical Concierge Nursing. Healthcare for your lifestyle. Learn more at decisioncriticalbr.com.
We had Kai Kroger, punter from South Carolina, and then we let go of Hunter Decker's quarterback. Obviously, just making that move there as we go, and we'll see how everything progresses moving forward. The injury things that we had talked about, Juwan Trayton and John, Juwan was limited in practice. The other two did not participate in practice. Obviously, it'll be a little thing. It'll take a few days for those guys to get back into it, but they'll be fine, nothing long term.
Kellen Moore running through a little transaction today. You might remember Kai Kroger, who punted at South Carolina, was an All-American in 2022, first-team All-SEC in 22 and 24. They actually brought him to SEC Media Days. He was that impactful of a punter. Was undrafted. We got picked up by the Jets, waived by the Jets, now picked up by the Saints. Saints have 3 punters, including James Burnip, the rookie out of Alabama, who's got a huge leg, and then Matthew Hayball from Vanderbilt, who was the punter last year. So that battle very much wide open. But it's interesting to me that in order to bring in Kai Kroger, the corresponding, to bring someone in, you have to create a roster spot. So you can't just sign as many players as you want. So you have the 90-man roster limit. So they had to waive somebody. Well, who they waived was Hunter Deckers. Remember, Deckers is the quarterback who we talked about, who I liked a lot. Deckers was a talented guy who was at Iowa State. He got caught up in the sports betting scandal there at Iowa State, ended up going to a JUCO or an NAIA, something like that, because he couldn't play in the NCAA anymore, and then gets his opportunity back now with the New Orleans Saints, but the Saints waive him. It's interesting because I was thinking, 4 quarterbacks feels like a lot, but I texted Ross Jackson just a minute ago, of course, from LouisianaSports.net. By the way, Ross's practice reports, it was 8 pages of notes today. I mean, when I tell you, I don't mean to go on a tangent here, but I keep reiterating this. There is no more detailed practice report that anyone is doing than what Ross Jackson is doing at LouisianaSports.net. And it's free, like free. No paywalls. There's no article limits. There's no freemium. It's not we're getting you in to then sign you up. It's free. We're operating Louisiana Sports.net the same way we've operated our radio station, all of our content. we are an ad-based model where we're going to do great content. Hopefully you support it, and then advertisers want to be part of what we're doing. So please go read Ross's report. Anyway, now back on track. I texted Ross. I was like, hey, did they have 4 quarterbacks in camp last year? He goes, yeah, they had Nathan choice word Peterman in camp until August the 2nd. I had forgotten about that. They did have Nathan Peterman in camp last year. So they had 4 in camp last year as well, with Derek Carr, Spencer Rattler, Jake Haener, and Nathan Peterman. So, of course, you have camp arms. Hunter Dekkers is just an interesting one to me because but for the betting scandal, yeah, that's a Power 4 quarterback that was a really productive player that probably would have been taken somewhere in day 3 of a draft or maybe even higher. Who knows how it could have gone for him. But so the decision to let Hunter Dekkers go to bring in Kai Kroger is interesting. And they asked Kellen Moore about that decision. Like, you could have released anyone on the roster. Why Dekkers?
Yeah, we're just in a goofy situation quarterback-wise with just the reps right now. Obviously, we think the world of Hunter, and we'll see how everything progresses here moving forward. And obviously, we feel really good with his development.
They asked also in a follow-up, because remember, if he goes unsigned, they could always bring him back. So they asked Kellen Moore that question: would you bring him back?
We'll see how this all progresses. Hunter's done a really nice job here for us, and so we'll just see how everything progresses as we go.
He just says nothing. He just says absolutely nothing. For what it's worth, when he talked about sort of the goofy situation with the reps. So in this practice on Thursday, and again, hat tip Ross Jackson, you can go see this. It's all there for you. Ross is charting every quarterback rep. And so in each report, you're getting that day's reps and then the running total. So here's the running total for the 3 quarterbacks. Spencer Rattler is 61 of 83. I'm terrible at math. I'm certainly not going to do mental math, so let me get at my calculator. So he's 61 of 83. That's 73%. So Rattler is completing 73% of his passes so far. Haener is 52 of 75 for 69% completion. And then Tyler Shuck, and this is all of camp, not just today, is 34 of 58, which is 58%. So Rattler's at 73%, Haener's at, 69%, and then Shuck is at 56%. What did I say? 34 divided by 58 is 58%, excuse me. So, and then just look at the reps, the attempts. Rattler has attempted 83 passes. Haener has attempted 75 passes. Shuck has attempted 58 passes. So you're also seeing that disparity as well, where you're trying to get all 3 of those guys reps that just aren't reps right now for Dekkers. And usually you have a camp arm, like we talk about, where it's someone has to go out there and throw passes to the DBs and so on and so forth. So you have a camp arm to do that to protect the guys who are making the roster. This is one of those instances where you got 3 dudes that are getting that need all the reps they're getting. So it'll be interesting if there is a spot somewhere along the way for Dekkers. I guess I could see a reality where if you get to the final 53-man roster and maybe, let's say, you waive Jake Haener with the intention of signing him back to the practice squad, but someone picks him up and signs him to their active roster, then maybe you could bring Hunter Dekkers back and sign him to your practice squad. Something worth watching as it moves forward. But as of now, down to 3 quarterbacks after Hunter Dekkers was waived to add Kai Kroger. Can Kai Kroger win this job? That'll be fascinating to watch. All right, y'all, it's After Further Review. We're brought to you by South Point Volkswagen, southpointvw.com. New and certified pre-owned in Baton Rouge and online at southpointvw.com. Get to the website. You can check out all the dealer specials that they have there right now at southpointvw.com, southpointvw.com. That's the website for South Point Volkswagen. And there is a promotions tab at the top where you can get all of the dealer specials right there at South Point Volkswagen. If it's on the lot, it's online. Remember, their certified pre-owned selection is awesome. All different makes and models, not just Volkswagens, because they move more new inventory than anyone else. They get all these trade-ins. So even if you're shopping for a pre-owned vehicle, go shop the used car lots. Make sure you shop South Point Volkswagen as well. Airline just north of Highland or southpointvw.com. South Point Volkswagen. What's your direction? Gordon McKernan, one of the partners here at Court's Table, is going to join us in just a quick second. But this was interesting. If you missed it an hour ago, we had former LSU All-American offensive lineman Will Blackwell on the show with us. Will was such a key player, was a starting offensive guard on that 2011 team. Came to LSU as a defensive lineman, converted to offensive line, became a starter and an All-American on what was the greatest LSU team ever until the 2019 team came along. And we talked a lot with Will about the decision to play the opener against Clemson because, of course, in 2011 they played Oregon in that opener, and he was very much in favor of the focus that it provides for you in the season. It's easy to say, of course, when you win. Well, Sam Acho, former, of course, Texas defender, was on ESPN. I think this was College Football Live, but he was on ESPN talking about LSU's decision to put so much emphasis on this opener.
It costs you your confidence. It's a 12, 13, maybe even more game season. If you put so much focus on game one and you lose game one, all of a sudden you focus on the big picture rather than the little things. It was the defense that cost LSU many games last season. Little things. They didn't do a great job of adjusting when it came to motions against the run game. And so if you focus on, we got to do everything we can to win this game, then you lose against a really talented Clemson offense, all of a sudden the morale and the confidence of the team can go down and you'll miss the little things, which is playing better defense led by Blake Baker.
But what if you win? If you beat Clemson on the road, you've set yourself up for an amazing boon to the season. The other thing I'll also point out is the very first year of the college football playoff was the 4-team playoff. But in 2014, Ohio State lost their season opener at home to Virginia Tech, a Virginia Tech team that ended up going 6-6. It was a terrible loss for Ohio State, but they rebounded from it. Obviously, Urban Meyer was their coach. He's a Hall of Fame coach. They had a great coach that got his team back on track, and they went on to win a national championship. If LSU loses to Clemson, okay, the onus is going to be on Brian Kelly to get the thing back on track and get them moving in the right direction with 11 regular season games remaining. Ain't no running from it. It's on the schedule. You got to play it, and I'm looking forward to it. We're less than a month away from LSU and Clemson there in Clemson, South Carolina. We are here at Court to Table in Baton Rouge on Burbank. Phenomenal spot. Y'all come hang out with us here. They got a beautiful courtyard, tons of games. They got the big Jenga, Connect Four, cornhole, ping pong. I'm looking at the shuffleboard table right here. Bo can confirm I've been wrecking people on shuffleboard all day. No one will play me actually because I just keep scoring points. I'm a shuffleboard ringer right now. Savant's what it feels like. Come hang out with us here at Court's Table, y'all. Drink some ice cold Bud Lights with us, eat some great food, and hang out here at Court's Table while we watch Sunday Night Football or the Hall of Fame game on NBC. All right, Gordon McKernan with us when we come back here from Court's Table on this Thursday edition of AFR presented by Decision Critical Concierge Nursing in Baton Rouge.
AFR.
Man, I'm so proud to tell you more about Duplessis Builders, and I'm not going to spill the beans. But I did have a conversation with my friends over at Duplessis here in the last 24 hours, and they are going to move forward with some new NIL deals. So last year, you might remember, we did a great deal with the late Kyron Lacey, also with Harlan Berry, Jacob Myers during the baseball season, and I'm going to let them disclose it when they want. But one current Tiger and maybe some future Tigers as well. But, of course, Derek Duplessis, look, he's an LSU alum. He's from Gonzales, went to LSU, I tell you all the time. Mechanical engineer. He uses his engineering background to build not only beautiful pools, but beautiful pools that will last. That's why at Duplessis, they offer you a 10-year workmanship warranty. DuplessisBuilders.net. Check them out online. DuplessisBuilders.net. DuplessisBuilders.net.
Flight by Yingling is raising the bar by crafting the next generation of light beer. With only 2.6 carbs and 95 calories, this is premium refreshment 6 generations in the making. Flight by Yingling. Raise the bar.
Bayou Chrysler Dodge Jeep Ram is taking $22,500 off MSRP on the brand new 2025 Ram 1500 Laramie with $22,500 off MSRP with a complimentary 7-year powertrain warranty that comes with all new Bayou Automotive vehicles. If you need sales or service, the crew at Bayou Automotive is going to do right by you.
Baton Rouge's home for real rock. It's Eagle 98.1. Foo Fighters. Led Zeppelin. AC/DC. Pearl Jam. And the flagship home for LSU sports. Take us anywhere with the Eagle 98.1 app. Eagle 98.1 is the rock station.
There it is, the extra mile, on the border of expected and extraordinary, for those willing to go further, like vans customized for work or play, with safety and tech to keep you connected, supported by a 5-star sales, service, and finance team, and backed by the 1-star you know. So go the extra mile. It's never crowded, because so few have what it takes to go there. Mercedes-Benz Vans.
Family owned and community driven.
Service Chevrolet Cadillac, a legacy you can trust since 1972. Service Chevrolet Cadillac, our family serving your family.
For over 50 years.
When it comes to choosing energy for your family and your home, make the smart choice with natural gas. You can count on efficient and affordable natural gas to keep you comfortable and reduce your environmental impact to help protect our planet. Together, we're fueling our energy future. Atmos Energy.
Gulf Coast Bank and Trust is giving our customers the power to bank anywhere, anytime during this challenging event. And we're right there with you. Our mobile banking app is a smart way to manage your money and time. Gulf Coast Bank and Trust, the bank that cares about you.
At Luba Workers' Comp, our journey began over 30 years ago with a simple belief. Our clients come first.
At Luba, our business has always been focused on people, not policies.
Through every success and challenge, we've continued to grow because we've stayed true to our values, committed to providing you with genuine dependability.
Because your well-being is more than a priority. It's our purpose.
After further review with Matt Moscona, presented by Decision Critical Concierge Nursing. Healthcare for your lifestyle. Learn more at decisioncriticalbr.com.
We roll on from court to table, counting down to the open of the preseason NFL opener. The Hall of Fame game with the Lions and the Chargers. Tonight we'll be hanging out here at court to table, and we can't come to court to table without talking to Gordon McKernan, who was so instrumental in bringing this concept to Baton Rouge. G, great to have you. How are you?
I am great, Matt. Thank you, man.
Of course. All right, you and I talked about this, I don't know, 6-8 weeks ago, maybe even longer than that this was happening. It's here. I've kind of fallen in love with the venue, man. I love it. Give me some impressions of how it's gone since y'all opened the doors.
Well, a lot better than I thought, and I think me and the partners, you always get worried about timing of when you open something, and we had these goals to open it in May, and then early June we get a part of the updraft, the LSU baseball charge to the playoffs, and we missed some of those dates, and we had to push it back till late June, and you get a little nervous. You're opening when everybody's on vacation, and it's hotter, and kids aren't here in school. But it's been greatly received by the community. It's blown through some of our expectations. We have a great staff, a great partnership group, so it's going great.
Gee, one of the things that I've told so Brian Neal's the manager over here. I've known a good while.
Good guy.
One of the things I've told Brian every time I've tried to order something different on the menu. Like, the food's great. Like, this is not a bar food. Not that there's anything wrong with bar food, but this is not a bar food menu. This is a place where you can come and have a great meal. Can you maybe talk a little bit, if you would, explain what went into creating the menu?
Oh, yeah. So I have to give all credit to Ozzie Fernandez, good friend and partner with him in several restaurant concepts. And when I got the idea some 3-4 years ago over in Austin to try to do this, first person I called was Ozzie. I said, I think this will work. I don't know the food and beverage side. You do. And then from that moment he was in, and as usual, he's just a master chef. He really is still a chef. Even though he's a restaurateur and an entrepreneur, he loves to be in the kitchen. He loves to to fiddle with the recipes and create a menu. And he's wise enough to know that even when he tries something and he thinks it'll work, he's willing to sub it out. So all credit to him. And it's just a modern American menu, and that's what we're trying to do. We're trying to be sensitive to those people who want to come and get a good healthy meal, and you got grains and bowls and salmon like that. And look, if you want to pig out and watch the game and eat chicken wings, you can do it. So he's done a great job. All credit to him.
I had the salmon for lunch. It was incredible.
Yeah.
I mean, everything I've had here has been awesome.
I can believe it. Like I saw a picture of you shirtless in the Caribbean, man. You kind of buff. You kind of there, brother. I can see where you're eating salmon, man. I was like, look at him flexing in that picture.
I was not flexing in the picture.
You were. There was a little flex in that.
All right, I might have been flexing. I might have been flexing just a little bit. Who knows? You gotta be like Instagram in Instagram shape, right? Anyway,
man, like, let me tell you, you are the. And it's a compliment. You wear a bald head better than anybody I've ever seen. It is.
This is going downhill.
That jawline, the ball. You rock it, brother. I give it to you, man. You look good.
This is getting so awkward. Gordon and I are going to go pick out curtains soon. Apparently, that's how this is going.
I'm being honest.
No, I know.
Man.
I'm teasing.
Good.
Hey, the other thing too that there's two other things I want to talk about specifically with Court Table. One is, if you love pickleball, that's great, and we'll talk about that in a second, but this does also have, like, the sports bar component of it without being, like, a rowdy all-guy sports bar. What was that concept like to put this together?
Yeah, well, I think you're hitting on it. We didn't want that, the rowdy sports bar where, the guys would only go and you didn't feel like you could have a great date there, or a group of ladies could come and play pickleball and have the salmon, or even a family. And it was very important to us to be diverse as an entertainment. You hear that word. We want to feed you and also entertain you. So we have the great music stage. We have the courtyard with all the games, as well as the pickleball and cornhole. So it was very important for us to be diverse and not just try to go after a sports bar crowd.
Yeah, we're tomorrow I'm bringing a party of 14 here. My wife and our niece, their birthdays were earlier this week, back-to-back days, so we're coming here to celebrate their birthdays because the adults can have a great meal and a cocktail or a beer, whatever, and the kids can run around and play. And everybody can enjoy it. Like, literally, if people are watching us right now on YouTube, you'll see there's people behind, like there's kids behind us playing cornhole on the indoor court. It's. I mean, y'all knocked it out the park, man. So the last thing, though, is the pickleball component. I know you're big into it. I've never played pickleball in my life, but for those who are into pickleball, give us the deets there.
Yeah. So we've got two great, I would say, pickleball partners. They're kind of the godfathers of our pickleball. That's Bob Barton and Destin Thibodeau. They're really good at it, and they've spared no attention to detail to trying to make sure that everything from the 5 indoor courts to the 5 outdoor and even our championship court is right. From the surface, we spared no expense with the surface, lighting. We're still working out a few things outside for visual aesthetics, bringing in some more backdrops so that you can pick up the ball even better. So we're fully committed to giving the best pickleball experience that you can get in Baton Rouge.
Well, G, thanks for having us here today. I hope we have many more opportunities to do this because, you're not paying me to say it. I mean it. Like, this is an awesome place. I mean, this is a place that I look forward to bringing my family to and coming to a lot. So, for you and your partners, thanks for making this happen for Baton Rouge, for many people that are going to enjoy it, this summer, spring, and or fall, and for many years to come, hopefully.
Yeah, and it sounds I don't say corny, but obviously we want to make money, but this really was trying to bring something to Baton Rouge that the community could be proud of. Folks from out of town or family, you go, hey, look, let me go show you a great experience with some music, have some entertainment, and a great meal. And we really didn't, in our opinion, have that here. And so that's what we try to create.
Well, you knocked it out the park. Excited to watch. This will be the first time we get to watch a football game here tonight, and I'm excited to be here for the Hall of Fame game. All right, well, G, you and I are going to talk plenty about football season and NIL and the G team and all that as we get closer to it, man. But we appreciate you having us here, man. We'll talk soon, all right?
Yep, thank you, buddy. Appreciate you.
That's our pleasure. Gordon McKernan joining us here. Fortunately, G couldn't be here physically with us tonight. He's out of town. Guy keeps a busy schedule. But we're here tonight at Courts of Table. just come pop it. Just trust me. Pop in for, even if you will pop in for 10 minutes and have a beer and just say hello, just to see the place. You'll get it. You'll start to get the concept, because there really isn't anything like this here. So come, just pop in and see it. I'm hanging out for the whole Hall of Fame game tonight. Drink a Bud Light with me, hang out, and stay for the whole game if you can. Have dinner. Bring your family. Have dinner. Bring the family. Be great. All right, it's After Further Review. Our Thursday shows are presented by Decision Critical Concierge Nursing in Baton Rouge. We got one segment to go, and I'll circle back as we wrap up, because we don't have Otter Locks. I kind of wish we did now with the Hall of Fame game tonight. I don't know what Otter would go with tonight, but would love to know. In any event, I'll circle back to what some things that Garrett Nussmeier said at SEC Media Days to Marty and McGee, which I think you're going to enjoy hearing. And it's interesting. You might say, well, Matt, Media Days was 2 weeks ago, and that's true. But oftentimes what happens is the content that's gathered at Media Days isn't always released on those days. A lot of times interviews are done, and then the content is sort of rationed up until the start of the season. And so there's a sit down that Garrett did with Marty and McGee that's just now being released that I think you're going to enjoy some of those sound bites. So we'll play a couple of those clips when we come back here to wrap up on AFR from Court to Table on Burbank.
AFR.
Hey, remember, as we speak about football season and football season right around the bend, you're probably thinking about what you're going to start doing on those football Saturdays or the weekends. Maybe you got family or colleagues or clients coming in from out of town. Remember the Watermark and the Renaissance. The Watermark downtown, Renaissance Southtown. Of course, if you're hosting an event, my friend Allison Crump, she's the events manager for both hotels, and I love her line. She says it all the time. She said, we're in the business of saying yes. If there's something you want to do, we'll manipulate our space to make it happen. From boardroom for a dozen people up to hosting the entire LSU football program the night before home games. She's awesome. They're awesome over at Watermark Downtown and Renaissance Southtown on Bluebonnet. But if you've got family, friends, whatever, coming in for football games, look ahead at the schedule. What day is that? Where are they staying? Book their hotels now at Watermark and Renaissance. Watermark is downtown, Renaissance Southtown on Bluebonnet. It's the Watermark and the Renaissance.
Today, we are shaping tomorrow.
We are researching how extreme stress impacts the immune system, from trauma victims to athletes and even astronauts.
Our work is leading the way in sepsis treatment, saving countless lives.
We're unlocking the mind with music in exciting new ways.
Our Lady of the Lake Health and LSU are improving the health of our state.
That's the impact of champions.
Imagine the impact we'll have on the future. Together, we roar.
At Luba Workers' Comp, our journey began over 30 years ago with a simple belief. Our clients come first.
At Luba, our business has always been focused on people, not policies.
Through every success and challenge, we've continued to grow because we've stayed true to our values, committed to providing you with genuine dependability.
Because your well-being is more than a priority. It's our purpose.
Parish Construction and Roofing.
This is Coach Kim Mulkey. Go to parishbuilt.com for all of your roofing needs.
From your hometown, parishbuilt.com.
It's not just a game, it's a religion. You've got your team colors, team swag, and now your very own website, LouisianaSports.net. Everything LSU, Saints, and Pelicans. Sports on demand. In-depth coverage by sports writing pros with continuously updated news. And with the LouisianaSports.net newsletter, you get pinged directly with top trending stories. Best of all, now and always, no paywall. It's free. LouisianaSports.net, powered by 104.5 ESPN Baton Rouge. Your home for Louisiana sports.
Men, age is just a number. Don't let it dictate how you feel. Goodwood Men's Sexual Wellness has anti-aging services that can help you look and feel your best. Visit yourgoodwood.com and discover a renewed sense of vitality.
At Ochsner, we know healing is a team sport. That's why we've partnered with world-renowned orthopedic surgeon Dr. James Andrews to create the Ochsner Andrews Orthopedics and Sports Medicine Institute. Whether you're a professional athlete or a weekend warrior, our team of specialists are dedicated to getting you back in the game. So whatever your reasons are for reaching your personal best, we've only got one: you. Ochsner Andrews Institute. long live you.
Looking for the ultimate game day experience? Come to the Queen Casino in Baton Rouge. Savor game day platters and snacks, plus drink specials at 1717 Kitchen and Cocktail. So come out for game day and let our team make you the MVP. The Queen Casino, where every moment is a win.
After further review with Matt Moscona, presented by Decision Critical Concierge Nursing. Healthcare for your lifestyle. Learn more at decisioncriticalbr.com.
I think if we keep that type of mindset, man, we're after it. It's another year, and we're out to finish what we started. We're going to close out some of these debts. That's got to be the attitude. That's the mindset across the board. Every day in practice, no matter who we play, no matter what people think, man, we're going. And I just think it's a mindset. That's all.
Got to close out some of these debts. What a way to put it. Dan Campbell, the coach of the Lions. Of course, Lions and Chargers tonight will open up the preseason. The Lions were 15-2 a season ago. 15-2 a season ago. The Lions. The Detroit Lions. DeToilet. 15-2. And my goodness, Jaden Daniels did him dirty in the divisional round. Commanders beat him 45-31, and all that work over an 18-week, 17-game regular season went belly up. In any event, the Lions tonight, back at it. First, the Hall of Fame game, the first preseason game. And it'll be the Lions and the Chargers as the preseason gets underway for the NFL. One other thing worth noting here, as remember, it is, of course, the Hall of Fame game. Next year, Drew Brees will be a first-year eligible player for the Pro Football Hall of Fame. You have to be retired for 5 years before you're eligible for the Hall of Fame. So today, in honor, of course, the Hall of Fame game and Hall of Fame weekend upon us, our friends over at BetOnline put out odds for next year's first ballot Hall of Famers to get elected. And Larry Fitzgerald will be a first-year eligible player. He is minus 2,000 to be elected. 95.2% chance that Larry Fitzgerald will be elected to the Pro Football Hall of Fame as a first ballot Hall of Famer. That makes sense. Drew Brees, also a first ballot, first time on the ballot, a first-year eligible candidate next year. Drew Brees is minus 900. He is that equates to 90%. There's a 90% probability that Drew Brees will be elected in his first year. The other first-year eligible player worth mentioning is Jason Witten, the fantastic tight end. He is plus 150, which equates to a 40% chance of being elected in his first year. The others, Marquise Pouncey, Sean McCoy, Frank Gore, Phillip Rivers, Geno Atkins, Greg Olson, Julian Edelman, Des Bryant. Those are the other notable first-year eligible players next season. But the two that are shoo-ins are Larry Fitzgerald, Drew Brees. The other that you'll keep an eye on is in year one will be Jason Witten. And then there's guys who are close. Eli Manning has an 83% likelihood. Terrell Suggs. Eli was 83% last year. Forgive me. Terrell Suggs, 75%, didn't get in. Luke Kuechly was 50%. None of them made the Hall of Fame in their first year. We'll see if they might make it this year. But that voting process is still a ways away. But the first-year eligible players, among them, Larry Fitzgerald, Drew Brees, certainly shoo-ins to be elected to the Pro Football Hall of Fame on the first ballot. So next year, as a reason to bring this up, of course, typically the Hall of Fame game, typically the teams playing coincide with someone going into that year's class. So there's a possibility that with Drew Brees going into the Hall of Fame next year, you could see the Saints playing in the Hall of Fame game at Tom Benson Stadium. That would be some cool synergies if it were to happen. All right, we're brought to you by Shaw Bills Tire and Auto Service, ShawBillsTire.com, locations all over South Louisiana ShawBillsTire.com. If you're maybe taking that last little road trip, or maybe you're planning that football road trip this year, make sure you bring your vehicle to Shaw Bills. Name brand tires at wholesale prices, and of course, they'll treat you like family at Shaw Bills. ShawBillsTire.com. ShawBillsTire.com. You can schedule service online. You can find the location nearest you online at Shaw Bills Tire and Auto Service. Go to ShawBillsTire.com. ShawBillsTire.com. Shaw Bills, where we keep you rolling. All right, y'all. I mentioned this, and I want to get to it before we get out of here. Garrett Nussmeier during SEC Media Days was on Marty and McGee, and sometimes content from SEC Media Days isn't released until far after, as content can be sort of rationed out. And they asked Garrett about coming back to LSU and the goal for this year.
I didn't want to watch anybody else be the guy that leads LSU to a national championship. LSU means the world to me. Louisiana means the world to me. Also my faith helped me so much throughout that, decision process. And I feel like I was, same reason why I stayed whenever everybody was trying to tell me to leave and transfer. God brought me to LSU for a reason. I always wanted to win a national championship here. And it wasn't about winning a Heisman or being the first overall pick. It was just about winning a championship. And so having that opportunity, that I just couldn't pass it up.
He said, I didn't want to watch anybody else lead LSU to a national championship. He wanted to be the one from Louisiana to lead LSU to a national championship. And Garrett Nussmeier will certainly have an opportunity to do that. Coming back as the leading returning passer in college football, a ton of talent via the transfer portal, several back-to-back top 10 recruiting classes that LSU stockpiled. The roster is looking again like it should look in order for LSU to be a championship contender. Now, you got to get in the playoff to have a chance to win it, see what your draw looks like and all that. But to get there, you got to go 10-2, and a big part of that will be winning your opener against Clemson. We'll see if the Tigers can do that coming up about a month from now on August the 30th. All right, y'all, it is After Further Review. Of course, a big part of that for LSU is Our Lady of the Lake, a great partner of ours and a championship health partner of LSU Athletics. OLOLRMC.com/LSU. That's the website where you can learn more, OLOLRMC.com/LSU, because at Our Lady of the Lake, that championship health partnership with LSU, yes, it's about caring for the athletes, the student athletes, but also the students and the everyday champions in life, people like you and like me and our families. That's why, as part of the Franciscan Missionaries of Our Lady Health System, they have hospitals and clinics to care for all of our expansive needs, from all your daily bumps and bruises to things like cancer and stroke and heart health and pediatrics. It's Our Lady of the Lake. Our Lady of the Lake and LSU. Together, we roar. Okay, y'all. A Hall of Fame game is staring you straight in the face. We have got football tonight. Even if it's a bunch of dudes, that'll be accountants in a couple of weeks. It don't matter. Because you have dudes that are getting paid to put on an NFL uniform and go play a game tonight. We're going to be hanging out here at Court to Table to watch the game. So come have some dinner. Come hang out with us here at Court to Table tonight on Burbank. Pop in, say hello, even if you stay for a quarter or just for a beer, or come have dinner. Would love to see you at Court to Table. I'll be hanging out throughout the Hall of Fame game tonight. So looking forward to a great night, meeting many of you here. So come hang out with us at Court to Table on Burbank. Big shout out to my friend Blasia over at Decision Critical Concierge Nursing in Baton Rouge, our title sponsor of our Thursday shows all throughout the year. Bo Wegman here on site. Thanks so much to Musso and Cassie back in studio. Appreciate all the hard work as we're here. Tomorrow, we're back in studio. LSU is back on the practice field, but no media availability. Terrio's back tomorrow as well. We'll see you for a Friday edition of AFR tomorrow at 3.
AFR.
As we head into this evening, I got to remind you about Supper Club. I was chatting with Chef Layton yesterday, and one of the things we were going through is their new whiskey list. And I think if you listen to the show or follow any of my content for any length of time, you know that I'm a gigantic whiskey nerd, and I don't hide that from anybody. I would put Supper Club's allocated whiskey list up against anybody. It's no surprise because they have the best of everything, and no matter what it is, if it's your Japanese Wagyu, if it's the best Chilean sea bass that you'll ever eat, if it's the Alaskan king crab legs, like literally from the deadliest catch boats, they have those. But they have the best selection of allocated whiskeys as well. The Pappy Van Winkle 15, the 20-year. They've got the full Weller Vertical. They've got it all right there. And you can always just pop in belly up to the bar without a reservation at Supper Club.
These are the luckiest ice cubes in the world. They could have been a thankless bed for an all-you-can-eat salad bar. But instead, they've been called upon to cradle and cool a crisp, refreshing Dos Equis. Looks like the lucky just got luckier. Dos Equis.
At Bayou Automotive, we believe in a sales process that puts you first. We want you to experience an easy purchase with clear pricing and great service. Let Bayou Ford and Bayou Chrysler Dodge Jeep Ram be your trusted partners in finding your perfect vehicle. The crew at Bayou Automotive is going to do right by you.
When it comes to industrial construction, River Parish contractors can do it all. Mechanical, structural, custom fabrication, specialized welding, and turnaround services. Strategically located in between Baton Rouge and New Orleans. We have the local team with the experience and commitment to safety to manage the most complex industrial projects. Period. Here's the deal. Partnering with us means your project is delivered on time, on budget, and most important, safely. River Parish Contractors, let's get building.
Hi, this is Beth Serena. Welcome to my pool. The first time I saw this beautiful pool, it exceeded every expectation that I had. They were able to get everything we wanted in this pool. It is a beautiful pool. We live out here, we eat out here, we watch TV out here. This is like our living room outside. We love this pool and everything about it. When we decided to build our pool, we called a great friend who is one of the best pool builders in the country in North Louisiana, and we said, who would you choose to build a pool in Baton Rouge? And without a hesitation, he told us Russell Pools. He said their history, tradition of great builds, great pools was unmatched. So of course, who did we call? Russell Pools. The advice I would give to anyone looking to build a pool is first call Russell Pools. They'll do an incredible job. It'll be incredibly organized. It'll be time efficient, and you will have your pool in no time.
At Luba, our business has always been focused on people, not policies. We've continued to grow because we've stayed true to our values, committed to providing you with genuine dependability. Because your well-being is more than a priority, it's our purpose.